WCAB at 100.9.
ABC News. I'm Brian Clark. At least 44 states and territories are reporting weekly increases in COVID-19 case numbers. The Delta variant believed to account for more than half of those, and Dr. Mohammed Reza, an infectious disease specialist, says this variant that was first spotted in India spreads quickly.
We're comparing it to the Alpha variant, which was first seen in the United Kingdom. This virus is thought to be about 40 to 60% more transmissible, and it likely produces more rapidly when someone is infected with this.
Health officials are urging people to get vaccinated if they have not already done so. Today, President Biden will mark the start of an expanded child tax credit as families are beginning to see payments deposited into their bank accounts.
Starting today, the vast majority of American families with children will receive up to $300 per month per child. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki on Wednesday.
And this is just extra money that's going into people's bank accounts who need help the most.
The president will be joined today at the White House by families that will benefit from this tax credit. Karen Travers, ABC News, the White House.
In California, a wildfire has erupted near Paradise 3 years after 85 people were killed there in the deadliest fire in American history. The drought impacting the West is fueling these blazes, says ABC's Matt Gutman near the River Fire in Madera County.
We are still, a couple months back from the peak, but what we're seeing now is sort of peak fire behavior earlier in the season. So fires are burning hotter, faster, earlier than pretty much in living memory. A lot of these firefighters that we've been dealing with have been out here for decades, but they've never seen fire behave like this.
The death toll in the condo collapse in South Florida has climbed to 97 people. Johnson & Johnson is recalling several sunscreens manufactured under the Aveeno and Neutrogena labels because low levels of benzene, which can cause cancer, were found in some samples. You're listening to ABC News.
If the pandemic's taught us anything, it's that the easiest way for germs to get into your body is the nose. We all know how to wash our hands, but how do you clean your nose? For over 2 million Americans, the answer is Navage Nasal Care. Navage uses powered suction to flush out allergens, mucus, and germs that cause congestion, colds, and flu, so you can breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier. Better yet, Navage is all natural and drug-free. That's why one of America's top respiratory hospitals recommends nasal irrigation to stay healthy, explaining that bacteria and viruses thrive in warm and moist environments and that you can wash away those germs so they don't make your nose their home. Experience Navage at zero risk. Go to Navage.com, buy Navage, and use it for a month. If you're not delighted, return it for a full refund. There's nothing to lose and a lifetime of better breathing to gain. Also available at Target, Walgreens, CVS, Bed Bath, and Rite Aid. Navage, Navage.
A victory in court for pop star Britney Spears as she continues to challenge the conservatorship that's ruled her life for several years, says ABC's Andrea Fujii.
Britney Spears is celebrating. In court Wednesday, the judge granted Spears' request to hire her own lawyer in the fight to end her 13-year conservatorship controlled by her father. Celebrity attorney Matthew Rosengart will now represent her.
The question remains, why is he involved? He should step down voluntarily, as that is in the best interest of Britney Spears.
Jamie Spears was adamant he is not stepping down. His lawyers saying there are a lot of misstatements in Britney's testimony.
In a court hearing, Britney Spears says she has been afraid of her father. President of Brazil may require surgery after going to the hospital for a case of hiccups that lasted for several days.
Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro was transferred to a Sao Paulo hospital Wednesday afternoon after doctors diagnosed him with an intestinal obstruction while investigating the cause of chronic hiccups that he's been suffering from for more than 10 days. The president's office says Bolsonaro's doing well and is undergoing more medical exams to determine if he needs emergency surgery. The 66-year-old leader has had intestinal complications and multiple surgical procedures since he was stabbed on the campaign trail in 2018. Claire Bauer, ABC News, Rio de Janeiro, Brazil.
This is ABC News.
The U.S. dollar is plummeting. Protect your savings against inflation with precious metals. I'm Dinesh D'Souza for Birch Gold Group. Birch Gold Group is who I trust to help you protect your IRA or 401k with gold and silver. With thousands of satisfied customers, an A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau, get a free information kit by texting the word PROTECT to 989898. Again, text PROTECT to 989898 today.
Brian Clark, ABC News.
The reasons more and more people are coming to NC Tractor to do business are the selection of Massey Ferguson tractors, Bobcat zero-turn mowers, fantastic customer service, and the special Phil Sheehan seasonal discounts. NC Tractor on Railroad Avenue in Rutherford is making dreams come true for folks who want the best.
Good morning and happy Thursday. We're starting off in the upper 60s and low 70s this morning, but still rather mild and humid. This afternoon, we'll see a partly cloudy sky with stray showers and storms popping out from the afternoon and through the evening. Highs today in the upper 80s and low 90s. Dry Friday morning, but then Friday afternoon, we'll see another chance for scattered showers and thunderstorms popping up. Highs Friday in the upper 80s and low 90s once again. More rain Saturday and Sunday. I'm meteorologist Zach Moloch in the Weather Center.
Thank you very much, Zach. It's 7:05, and we're having a move from 66 when we got here this morning. Still 66, but it should be climbing pretty soon up to about 90 for a daytime high with a possibility of some scattered showers in the forecast. Right now, 66 degrees at 6 minutes after 7. Now I have these death announcements this morning. Robert Herman Hollifield Sr., age 76 of Forest City, died Wednesday at his home. The memorial service will be held 3 o'clock Sunday, July 18th in the Paget and King Chapel. The family will receive friends from 1:30 until 2:45 prior to the service at the mortuary. Burial of his ashes will be held privately in the Oak Grove Cemetery in Marion, North Carolina. Paget and King Mortuary and Crematory serving the family of Robert Herman Hollifield Sr. Wilma Sparks, 87 of Rutherfordton, died Thursday, July 15th at Hospice House, Carolina Foothills. Arrangements incomplete and will be announced by McMahon's Funeral Home for Wilma Sparks. Earl Franklin Pruitt, age 76, passed away Wednesday, July 14th at Presbyterian Hospital in Charlotte. The graveside service will be held 10 o'clock Friday, July 16th at Shiloh Baptist Church Cemetery. Crow's Mortuary is assisting the family of Earl Franklin Pruitt. Robert Bob John Thomas, 70 of Rutherfordton, died July 12th. The Mass of Christian burial will be held 11 o'clock Saturday, July 31st at Immaculate Conception Catholic Church in Forest City. The Paget of King Mortuary and Crematory is serving the family of Robert Bob John Thomas. Gary Warren Webster passed away July 7th in Forest City. Celebration of Life will be held at Beaufort Presbyterian Church in Sugar Hill, Georgia, Saturday, July 24th at 2 p.m. The Paget and King Mortuary and Crematory in charge of the arrangements. With Gary Warren Webster. Lisa Coffey Rome, age 55 of Spindale, died Friday at her home. A memorial service will be held 5 o'clock Saturday at the Paget and King Mortuary Chapel. Family will receive friends an hour prior to the service at Paget and King Mortuary. Paget and King Mortuary and Crematory in charge of the arrangements for Lisa Coffey Rome. Ginger Paget Guy of Forest City died Wednesday at Hospice of the Carolina Foothills. Service to celebrate her life will be held Saturday, July 24th at 11 o'clock in the First Baptist Church of Forest City. Family receiving friends following the service. Paget King is serving the family of Ginger Paget Guy. Tony Sturgill, age 61 of Forest City, passed away Monday at his residence. A memorial service will be conducted at 7 o'clock Saturday, July 17th at Harrelson Funeral Chapel. The family will receive friends 1 hour prior to service time at the funeral home. At Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Service serving the family of Tony Sturgill. Mary Ann Wall, age 70 of Broadway Street, Forest City, passed away Monday at Carolina Medical Center in Charlotte. The funeral service will be conducted at 1 o'clock Saturday, July 17th at West Point Baptist Church. Burial will follow at Eternal Hills Memorial Park. Family will receive friends from 11 until 12:45 at the church prior to the service. Harrelson Funeral Home serving the family of Mary Ann Wall. Alan Flip Scott Keeter, age 62 of Forest City, passed away Saturday, July 10th. A memorial service to honor Alan's life will be held at 7 o'clock Friday, July 16th at the Harrelson Funeral Chapel. Family will receive friends 1 hour prior to service at the funeral home. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Service serving the family of Alan Flip Scott Keeter. Don Whistnut, age 74 of Mooresboro, passed away Sunday, July 11th at Adrian Health Cleveland in Shelby. A celebration of life will take place at a later date, and Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Service is serving the family of Don Wisnut. Linda Hawkins Emery, age 76, died Sunday, July 11th at Oak Grove Health Care. Family will have a private memorial service in the Paget King Chapel for Linda Hawkins Emery. Fred Forbes, 85, of the King Creek community, died Tuesday, July 13th at Peak Resources in Shelby. Those arrangements incomplete and will be announced by Washburn and Dorsey Funeral and Cremation Service.
800-1414. That's easy. 800-800-1414.
An offer of securities is only made by the NRIA Private Placement Memorandum. Read it first. Past performance does not guarantee future results. NRIA is a real estate development firm. Learn more at nria.net.
On this Thursday, last night I was having dinner with 3 old friends, guys I've known for years, good guys. Sports and politics were being discussed, and I told them that I think I am being too hard on President Biden. I kind of feel guilty. And I'm doing that because I cannot come up with one thing Mr. Biden has done that has improved the country in 7 months. Now, one of the guys who voted for Biden said immediately, well, he's not Trump. Okay. That's what I hear every time I pose this question. But what about policy? What about executive orders? What about proposed legislation? What about what's happening in the grocery stores and the gas stations? What about violent crime? What about millions of foreign nationals pouring into this country illegally? Is there anything good? Now, to be fair, you could say that Joe Biden did not screw up the vaccination deal after the Trump administration developed it and Donald Trump left office. The Biden administration got it out to the folks. Okay, that's a good thing and that's an accomplishment, but it's not a policy. So anyway, as usual, I was right at the dinner table. Wouldn't you love to have dinner with me? Now this. This year marks 20 years since September 11th, 2001. And the Tunnel to Towers Foundation has been supporting America's heroes ever since that terrible day. When a first responder or military service member does not return home, Tunnel to Towers pays off the mortgage to lift the financial burden and bring their families some stability. Donate just $11 a month to make a difference at T2T.org. That's T2T.org. That is the Morning O'Reilly Update. More analysis later on.
Good morning. Good morning.
Live from beautiful downtown Whiteside Road in the Blue Room of WCAB, your connection to the world of entertainment and information is on the air. WCAB, what a way to spend a day.
Mr. Rogers said, look for the helpers. You can always find people who are helping. Thank you to all the first responders who put their lives in danger to help us when my brothers and sisters and mom and dad and grandpa and grandma need them.
Thank you, first responders.
This is what I signed up for as a first responder. I am constantly worried about being exposed to this virus and potentially bringing it back to my home and my family. I'm going to continue going to work day in and day out and providing help to those that need it.
We look out for the helpers because they look out for us. Thank you, first responders. Thank you, first responders. Thank you, first responders. Love you. Mwah.
Be safe, look after yourself, and look after one another. Thanks.
Learn how you can help first responders in your community by texting BRAVE to 24365.
William Ellsworth Lay is a name one would associate with a banker, successful merchant, or businessman. Chances are Elsie, as he was known, could have been any one of these three, but he wasn't. As a young man, he started his chosen profession by doing some rustling, a holdup or two, and even a little counterfeiting. Then he went to Utah and met up with a young outlaw by the name of George Leroy Parker, who became known as Butch Cassidy. Quickly, he became one of Butch's lieutenants. According to Butch, Elsie was the educated one of the Wild Bunch. Supposedly, Elsie planned most of the Wild Bunch's robberies. When Elsie wasn't helping out Butch, he found work with another famous outlaw gang led by Blackjack Ketchum. It was with Blackjack that things turned bad. The gang had held up a Colorado and Southern train, a job probably planned by Elsie, when 5 days later, on July 16, 1899, the posse caught up with them. A gun battle ensued in which Blackjack was mortally wounded and Elsie was shot through the chest and shoulder. Although Elsie escaped, a month later the posse found and captured him. In 1899, Elsie was sentenced to life imprisonment. 6 years later, when he helped quell a riot, Elsie was pardoned. After his release, Elsie went down to Mexico and dug up $58,000 in loot he had stashed there. For the next 28 years, Elsie stayed on the right side of the law. He spent his last years in Southern California. When he died, he was buried in Los Angeles' Forest Lawn Memorial Park Cemetery, a strange place for Butch Cassidy and Blackjack Ketchum's right-hand man to spend eternity. You've just heard another story from Old West Radio. I'm Dakota Livesay.
For a rootin' tootin' great meal, let Jesse James prepare your next lunch. He's got a menu chock full of fresh cooked burgers, fresh salads, hot dogs made any way you like, taco salads, specialty burgers, sandwiches, french fries, and onion rings. Enjoy refreshing milkshakes, Coke floats, or a cone of hand-dipped ice cream. Open Monday through Saturday, 11 to 4, closed Wednesdays and Sundays. Jesse James Railroad Express, 531 Railroad Avenue in Rutherfordton. Call 447-4644. And don't forget the 99-cent hot dogs with mustard, chili, and onions on Mondays only.
Now it's 17 minutes after 7 o'clock. It's time to get you caught up to date on what's been happening around our county with our Call Around News Report. And we stop now first with the Sheriff's Department and Sheriff Chris Francis. Sheriff, good morning. There's been a lot going on since we talked last.
It has been busy since Tuesday morning. It certainly has, Jim. How are you doing this morning, sir?
Doing great. Loving this beautiful morning already.
Good to hear it is a beautiful day.
Yes, sir. Tell us what's been going on.
Jim, in the last 24 hours, the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office has responded to 142 calls of service. There have been 12 arrests processed at the county jail. Currently incarcerated, we have 175. Among those arrested, Christopher Lee Hamrick, 33-year-old male of Forest City, was charged with trespassing, driving while license revoked, received a $500 unsecured bond. Kevin Matthew Pruitt, 34-year-old male of Forest City, was charged with failure to appear and received a $3,000 secured bond. Bobby Dean Laws, 23-year-old male of Mooresboro, was charged with larceny, received a $500 secured bond. Jessica Ashley Boyd Fisher, 42-year-old female of Rutherford, was charged with failure to appear, received a $2,000 secured bond. Jack Rodney Short, 34-year-old male of Rutherford, was charged with breaking and entering, larceny, 2 counts of larceny of a firearm, received a $30,000 secured bond. Alexis Rahan Kelly, 19-year-old female of Ellenboro, was charged with harassing phone call and received a written promise to appear. Stephen Dale Schaefer, 42-year-old male of Ellenboro, was charged with domestic violence protective order violation, drug paraphernalia, possession of meth, received a $14,000 secure bond. We had a larceny on Rock Road in Union Mills. There was 6 landscaping timbers valued at $100 that were taken. We had a separate incident, a attempted larceny on Chase High Road in Forest City where someone was trying to take a train heat pump. There was some copper wire that was damaged in that incident. Suspects were seen, they believed to be in a newer model navy blue truck. The male had a big white beard, and there was also a heavyset white female with that suspect, appeared to be a lookout. We had a larceny on Rock Road in Union Mills. There were tools stolen from a carport, a black and yellow 4K generator valued at $500, a Husqvarna Rancher chainsaw valued at $600, a Husqvarna weed eater valued at $250, a Home White Super XL chainsaw valued at $200, and a Craftsman push mower valued at $225. We also had a B&E on Cycle Run in Forest City. Looks like a Lenovo Duet Chromebook with a 10-inch screen valued at $204 was taken, as well as a silver ring with turquoise and gold stone, as well as a larceny of a firearm on US 221A. A separate incident, a high point .45 caliber valued at $200 was taken by a relative after a disagreement. We had a larceny on Dunkard Church Road from Ruston there. There was a Super Start car battery valued at $100 that was taken. And Jim, that's what we had to report in the last 24 hours, but I'd like to give you an update on incidents that occurred on Tuesday as well.
Yes, please do.
On Tuesday, deputies had responded out to 211 Fleece Lane. This was an incident where we had Doug McGinnis had been stabbed by his son, Adam Kenneth McGinnis. The wounds appears to be by a K-bar knife. He had wounds to his chest and his neck area. In that particular instance, he was driven to the hospital there in Gaffney and then flown to Spartanburg from Gaffney Hospital. Deputies were able to take Adam Kenneth McGinnis into custody there on the scene, and detectives were able to talk to Doug that night. Glad to get him in custody, and as that incident occurred, it appears that Adam lived in the home with his father in a disagreement he had between his brother that the dad was trying to intervene, and that's when this occurred. Later on that night at 9:24 p.m. at 202 Misty Lane, Roger Ledford was in his driveway when a black GMC truck had pulled up. Dusty Lane Jolly was in that truck. He had words with Roger that night, apparently over a girlfriend of Roger's, and of Roger, and he pulled out what we believe is a .410 revolver and shot one time, but it using what appeared to be birdshot, it did cause damage to Roger's arm and chest, and he underwent surgery after he was flown to Spartanburg Medical. We do not have Dusty Lane Jolly in custody at this point, but we do have warrants for his arrest for assault with a deadly weapon inflicting serious injury. He does have a Chesney address, and we did request Cherokee County to go check that address that night. We are working with Spartanburg County and Cherokee County trying to take him into custody.
And the beat goes on.
And the beat goes on. That was a lot, but I wanted to make sure that all your listeners were able to understand what we've been doing and how we've been taking care of business.
Good. I appreciate you sharing that information. We do get calls on those things from time to time, and best source is to go right to you guys, and you can tell us the facts about it, so I appreciate you doing that.
No problem. You have a good day, sir.
You too, sir, and I'll see you next time.
Bye.
Sheriff Chris Francis reporting in this morning from the Sheriff's Department, 7:23.
Thinking about the departure of a loved one through death is a subject we don't like to talk about. However, pre-planning or prepaying for a funeral is a consideration and responsible thing to do. With so many options available today, it's important to speak with someone you can trust and someone who can help you find a balance between the emotional, spiritual, and financial needs of your loved ones. Crow's Mortuary and Crematory is recognized as one of the best family-run funeral homes. It's a family tradition, and they know how to care for your family. Any questions you might have, they will be happy to answer. Call Crow's Mortuary and Cremation Services at 286-2304.
Now let's check in with Stacy over at 911 Communications, see what kind of calls they've had in the past 24 hours. Good morning, Stacy.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. What's on your list?
In the past 24 hours, Rutherford County Sheriff's Office 911 Communications Centers processed 421 911 calls and administrative calls, which consisted of 31 EMS calls, 15 for rescue. An law enforcement Sheriff's Office 142, Forest City 71, Rutherford 58, Lake Lore 6, and Spindale 46. Under fire calls dispatched Bills Creek to a fire alarm, Cliffside to a motor vehicle accident, and Lake Lore to an industrial fire alarm. That's all we have.
Thanks so much, Stacy. You have a great day.
All right, you too.
Farm Bureau Insurance doesn't hire celebrities to push auto coverage. We think people might like to make decisions based on service and savings, not just because that guy from that show says it's a good idea. Instead of faces you know from your TV, we offer faces you know from your neighborhood, because we're headquartered in North Carolina with local agents right in your town. That's really the only thing we want to be famous for. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
In Rutherford County, please call 287-2428.
North Carolina Farm Bureau Mutual Insurance Company, Farm Bureau Insurance of North Carolina, Inc., Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Jackson, Mississippi, an independent licensee of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Association.
Danieltown SDO is our next stop. And Ruby Taylor, tell us what's been going on over there.
Well, the fire department didn't have any calls, and on my birthday calendar I've got Dovey Wilson, Amanda Morrow, and Samuel Bingham having birthday today. And hope all these people have a nice day, and the signs are in the knees today and going to the legs tomorrow. That's all I've got.
Thanks so much, Ruby. Enjoy your Thursday.
You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
The music's on us. WCAB.
Classic oldies throughout today here on the 100.9 FM, 590 AM. Let me brag on Hutchins Pest Control a minute. Don't let the pest bug you when Hutchins Pest Control is as close as a phone call. Honest, dependable, professional, and on-time service may be the reason they keep getting voted best pest control. If you have a pest problem, call this family-run business at 287-5171. Licensed in North and South Carolina and fully insured and bonded. Get a free estimate when you call Hutchins Pest Control and be sure the job is done right. That's Hutchins Pest Control. Call them today at 287-5171 and they'll be right there.
It can be a tough call when it comes time to provide a daycare service for an aging parent or a loved one. You can always depend on Rutherford Life Services for a safe facility that offers medical monitoring, nutritional meals, fun activities, and is a loving environment. Rutherford Life is licensed by the State of North Carolina Division of Aging. They will be glad to answer any questions you may have. Call them at 288-1697. Rutherford Life Services offers a trained staff of professionals who you can entrust your loved one to. Rutherford Life Services is located at 230 Fairground Road in Spindale.
Now let's check to see if Gary Wilson and the team up around the Fairfield Mountains Fire District have been able to sleep through the night or we had any activity. Gary, good morning.
Good morning. Got a good night's sleep last night.
Good. I'm glad to hear it.
Had a hot day yesterday, didn't we?
Boy, I'll say.
That was, I think that's the most humidity we've had so far this summer. But really, we've been pretty fortunate. We haven't had many days this year at all so far in the 90s, and generally by now we've had several. So
yeah,
we've had some humid days and got a few thunderstorms around the area this week. Picked up a 1/10 of an inch of rain the last 24 hours, a little shower come through. And we're about 66 degrees this morning and no fire call the last 24 hours. And now everybody's turning their attention, getting ready for the Olympiad coming up. Get to have it again this year after having to take a year off last year. That'll be coming up in August, so we're all looking forward to that. There's going to be a lot going on that weekend.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Gearing up for it, but other than that, everything else is going on pretty peacefully, Jim.
Looks like we may have another 90-degree weather today, but find you a shade.
Yeah, we may hit it today, yeah. But, right. Yesterday was close. If it wasn't 90 yesterday, it sure felt 90. It was humid.
It sure felt like it for sure.
Yeah. Well, hope you have a good day. That's about all we got up here, sir.
Thanks, Gary. Enjoy it, and I'll see you next time.
All right, you too.
Your car's best friend can be RS Speedy Lube Service Center. That's because RS Speedy Lube Service Center and Car Wash can keep your car or truck running clean with a regular oil change. They check the fluids and vacuum out the car and have you on your way in no time. Go next door for a radiator or transmission flush. Brakes, exhaust, CV joints, and service for big trucks and campers also available. Pull next door to the RS Speedy Automatic Car Wash and make your car happy with a clean, all under and all over car wash. It's all at RS Service Center and Car Wash on Railroad Avenue in Rutherfordton.
Nobody gets a better deal than the customers at Sisk Family Ford. They have a proven record of the best deals. Sisk Family Ford, Rutherford County's only locally owned new car dealer, has recently been recognized as the #1 Ford dealer in customer satisfaction in the Southeast. That speaks well of their commitment to serve their customers well. Come take advantage of the springtime sales event and get the automobile you've been wanting. Look for all the new design 2021 F-150 at Rutherford County's only locally owned new car dealership. That's Sisk Family Ford, Oak Street, Forest City. Now it's 7:30. We go over to Bob Hodges' place and see if they had a quiet night in the Hudlow Fire District. Good morning, Bob.
Well, doing just fine on this Thursday morning. I hope you are.
Yes, sir, man. Doing well. You know, thinking about it, this is about a half a month already gone. Half of the year's almost already gone.
Yes, it is. It's moving right along. It don't stop, does it?
Can you slow it down a little bit, Bob? I mean, it's moving too fast.
I don't believe we can there. Oh, but things are going along good up here this morning, Jim, and pretty quiet. We hadn't had any fire calls overnight, so that's good. And I want to say happy birthday to Rocky Gillian and Margaret Shelton this morning. And everything's quiet so far up here this morning. Maybe stay that way all day today up here.
I hope so. It's too hot to fight fires. Let's hope it stays quiet.
Well, maybe we get one of them little showers of rain cool things off there.
I hope so.
Today, but we missed any yesterday, so we might get one today. Look like that's the way it's going to be all week there, then pop up thunder showers there. So.
We got just a little bit of rain. Just a brief amount of time. It rained pretty good for, I don't know, maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes yesterday afternoon. That's about it.
Yeah, and about 5 minutes, can't tell it rained at all there.
That's exactly right.
Well, Jim, you take care and you have a good day.
Thanks, Bob. Hope you do too, and I will see you tomorrow.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. That's Bob Hodge reporting out of the Hudlow Fire District this morning. Well, how long has it been since you've been to a Washburn store? I previously said, what can you find up there? Well, you know, I've told you can just about find anything. You can shop the alphabet almost every time. Candies, cups, caps, bells, bulbs, and bottles, corn seed, cornmeal, corn shellers, mayonnaise, marbles, and measuring cups, pots, pans, and popcorn poppers, lamps, lamp oil, lanterns, dippers, dishpans, and diet drinks, straw hats, shovels, and signs, hot ginger ale, mild ginger ale, diet ginger ale, toy wagons, toy tractors, and tomatoes. What are you looking for? Go to the alphabet. They've got it at Washburn General Store. You're always greeted with a friendly smile and folks who love to help you. That's Washburn General Store between Bostic and Sunshine on the Bostic Sunshine Highway. Let's check in now over the Cherry Mountain Fire District. Sue Price, how you doing?
Good morning, Jim. I'm doing okay. How are you?
Continue to improve a little bit?
Yeah, it's slowly getting out. I'm still pretty sore, but it's getting a lot better.
Good.
This takes time. Hope I don't have another fall.
Well, I hope not.
Gets you pretty sore. Well, let's see. I didn't have any calls from the fire department, so I reckon they were quiet. Don't have any anniversaries or birthdays on my church calendar. On my personal calendar, I've got an anniversary for Neil and Lynn Wright, so hope they'll have a good day today. And Fairview doesn't have anything today. First Broad's got a birthday for Stan Brackett, so I hope Stan will have a good day. And we hope anybody that's having a birthday or anniversary will have a real good day on their special day. Looks like they're going to have a hot day for it. But anyway, it's summertime, so we can expect this hot weather. And in my announcements, I don't have anything really. The fire department board members will be meeting Thursday night at 7 o'clock, so all you board members keep that in mind. And as far as I know, that's all I have this morning, Jim. It's just quiet and calm over here looking for a good day, and I hope you'll have one.
Thanks, Sue. I appreciate that very much. I hope you do, too, and I will see you next time.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. I have a special guest this morning on My Great America with Jim and Butch. We're going to be talking with the president of the North Carolina Faith and Freedom Coalition in North Carolina, and he'll be on the program with me this morning. Talk a little bit about faith and freedom, what that's all about, and maybe get you excited about becoming involved. We'll see whenever we get to that point. 9:05 this morning, right here live on WCAB. So don't miss it. All right, we are checking in with Drop-In Family Mart over in Bostic to see if they have time to talk with us this morning.
Does your financial advisor take the time to really listen to you? Is your financial strategy personalized for you and your family? Will your life and financial situation change? Hi, I'm Andrew Tisdale, your local Edward Jones financial advisor. When we work together, we focus what's important to you. We create a personalized strategy backed by our advice, our tools, and resources to help you reach your goals. And we partner together to help your strategy stay on track no matter what happens. Contact me at any time at 828-287-9197. We'll sit down, talk, and we're going to make a strategy that's right for you.
Thanks very much, Andrew Tisdale. 7:35. We're trying to get in over to the Drop-In Family Mart there in Bostic to see what they have in store for us today. It's a large store, unlike any other store like its kind here in the county. It's located right there on the Bostic Sunshine Highway, right across from the post office. If you've never been, there's a meat market there, fresh meat market in place. You get steaks, pork chops, roast, my favorite, filet mignon, and they're open 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Beautiful produce department with grapes, apples, vegetables that are in season. Best price on milk. Everyday low prices on bread. Chicken, Major Lee's chicken is outstanding. Potato wedges, pizza, beef, dogs. They're about the only one now doing the potato wedges. I think KFC sort of dropped theirs, and that's a good place to get those wedges. I think any of the drop-in delis have it. You can call your order in over there, and they'll have it ready for you. If you're doing a lot of cooking out this summer and going to go camping trip and need some propane, they got propane, plenty of that. If you need help with your groceries, when you get there, you can't get it out of the car too good, they'll be glad to bring it out to you. Personal service like nobody else. The deli is outstanding. Why don't you check it out for breakfast this morning? They're cooking breakfast over there even as we speak. Too busy to speak with us on the radio. So that's right there on the Bostic Sunshine Highway, kind of catty-corner there from the post office in Bostic. Be worth your stop to go in there this morning for breakfast or lunch or just to pick up some grocery items. All right, we'll check it now up at Shingle Hollow. We have Tina on the phone to get us up to date on what's been happening in that neighborhood. Tina, good morning. How you doing?
Good morning, Jim. I'm doing great this morning.
Good.
65 degrees here in Shingle Hollow this morning. The sky looks clear. Probably going to be a good warm day. Birthdays. Today we have a birthday on Piney Knob's calendar for Don Mode and none on Pleasant Grove. We're hoping Don Mode has a great, happy birthday. The fire departments were all quiet. As far as I know, had no call. Mountain Creek Baptist Church says come on out for a summer block party Saturday, July 24th from 6 to 8 p.m. Live music, hot dogs, magic show, fun for the entire family. Piney Knob Baptist Church has a vacation Bible school planned, Destination Dig. They want everyone to come on out. They have classes for everybody. There will be a meal served at 6 p.m. each night, Monday, July 26th through Friday, July 30th. They are also having a revival Sunday, August 1st through Wednesday, August 4th. Brother Alan Laws will be bringing the message, and they ask everyone in the community and the county to come on out and have a revival. And that's all we've got going on that I know of right now.
All right, you've covered it very well, and we'll look forward to talking to you again tomorrow morning.
Okay.
Thanks.
Everybody stay safe. Bye-bye.
I'm happy to share good news with you. If you have a septic tank on your property, you'll be glad to know there is a new professional pumper in town, Mid-South Pumping, owned and operated by one of our own, John Torbinen. Mid-South Pumping serves local communities such as Rutherford, Polk, Cleveland, McDowell, and Lake Lure, offering a wide variety of services at affordable prices. Get it done before summer gets here and really gets bad, if you know what I mean. Mid-South Pumping offers around-the-clock services to ensure your business doesn't become everyone else's. Count on Mid-South Pumping for pumping septic tanks, locating services, uncovering septic tank lids, and more. Make that call to Mid-South Pumping in Rutherfordton at 828-755-6280. That's something you can't do yourself, but clean out your septic tank. You need a professional. Somebody's going to do it right and leave it clean and fresh when they leave it, and that's why Mid-South is so popular. Why folks are calling on them to get that septic tank pumped out. Call on them, and you'll be pleased to know if they can get that done, and you'll be back smooth sailing again. All right, let's see if Brenda Kelly is on the phone this morning. One ring-a-dingy, two ring-a-dingies. Good morning, Brenda.
Good morning. How are you on this tremendous Thursday morning?
I think it's a wonderful day.
In the neighborhood.
In the neighborhood. You doing okay?
We got rain yesterday. Yeah, I'm doing fine. Hope you are.
Yes, I am.
I don't like all that stuff that the sheriff had to report this morning.
Yeah, I know.
I know our signs say small town friendly. That's not being too friendly when you out stabbing and shooting somebody, is it?
That's exactly right. But there's some personal internal problems when people do that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's bad, but.
Yeah. You say you got a little rain yesterday?
Yeah, we got rain. Let's see. I think we had 2 showers because I looked out and it was raining one time yesterday afternoon, and then close to dark last night it was raining. So yeah, the last 3 days we've had rain. 2 of them was at nighttime, and that's the best rain to get because then the sun don't come out and bake it.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. So make them tomatoes grow so Jim will have a tomato sandwich.
Yours doing good?
Yeah. So far I don't have, but is it 4 or 5 tomato plants? 2 of them's a friend of mine gave them to me. They're Cherokee purple cherry. They're them little T90, and I don't like the Cherokee purple in the first place.
A little Tommy toes.
And I don't eat too many tomatoes because there's a lot of seeds in them.
Mm-hmm.
But I like to grow them.
Yeah.
I'll can some, and so I can make vegetable soup this winter.
That'd be good.
Yeah, but so far they're doing okay, so that's good. Well, let's see. I've got 60 degrees on the front porch. I don't have but one announcement, and that's on Saturday, July the 31st. It's going to be an all-day vacation Bible school. Starts at 9:30 a.m. Is to be at the Far City Church of the Nazarene. And so far, that's all I've got going on. It's just short, sweet, and quiet, and I hope it stays that way up here.
I hope so, too. I hope you don't have any of that stuff going on up there. Make it nice and quiet in your neighborhood, and sing to the tomatoes so they grow in a hurry.
If I sing to them, they may just fall over dead.
Brenda, you have a great day.
You have a good one, too. Catch you later.
All right, bye. That's the Cali report from Union Mills. We're going next over to Ellenboro. Get that report from our man on the street.
Another season has come and gone, and you're still looking at that same sad-looking sofa or recliner. Well, now's the time to change the inside of your home to look as pretty as the spring and summer colors outside. And the perfect place to start is the Recliner Center. Right now at the Recliner Center, everything is 20% off. That's 20% off sofas, recliners, sofa recliners. If someone you love is having trouble standing, the Recliner Center has all lift chairs on sale for 10% off. All lift chairs, 10% off. Now, some of these chairs can take you from a standing position, then safely back down to a sitting position with no effort on your part whatsoever. Angela is cleaning out merchandise to make room for more. So now's your chance to redecorate your home and take advantage of the great savings at the Recliner Center. All lift chairs, 10% off. Everything else is 20% off. Angela is seeing folks by appointment only, so call 828-395-3562. Call her today. The Recliner Center. They're on Cooper's Gap Road in Rutherfordton.
Our next baseball game is going to be tomorrow night. We have an Owls game, Forest City Owls and Spartanburgers, and the voice of the Forest City Owls on radio is going to be my guest this morning at 8:30. He'll be in to talk about some of the things coming up for the rest of the season with the Forest City Owls right here in our hometown. We'll talk with him in just a little while, about 45 minutes away from right now, so be sure to hang around. We're trying to get in touch with the Ellenboro reporter, Luther Gilligan. No answer over there, Todd? He's not answering his phone again this morning? That's 2 mornings in a row we have to dock his pay. All right, we'll move on. Get birthdays and anniversaries called in to us. Birthdays and anniversaries at 287-3356, 287-3356. Call your birthday, your anniversary into us so we can celebrate with you. 287-3356.
Cheryl, have you been to the Homeworks Design Center inside Henson Building Materials in Forest City?
Oh, yes. Shana, David, and William are incredible at designing kitchen and bath cabinetry for my new she shed.
Your what?
And they have a full line of windows and doors on display in their 5,000 square foot showroom. And they'll install any ones you pick out for me.
Oh, you're too good to me.
I know. With selling and installing, it's basically one-stop shopping.
Henson Building Materials, 177 Duke Street, Forest City.
Building starts here.
Well, of course, you know about the delectable Granny B's Donuts, De La Donuts. Well, now you can experience the delicious Granny B's Pizza Combo. It's Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night coming up. You can order all the pizza you want. Granny B's Pizza Combo. Choose from 13 different combinations. If you have a preference, I'll bet you they've got it. That phone number over there is 286-9012, 286-9012. You'll never go back to the others once you've had a Granny B's Combo Pizza. And sure, it's all right to save a little room for one of Granny B's Daylight Donuts. Always room for a Daylight Donut, right? Granny B's. Right on Main Street, right beside the Shake Shop, you'll find them. It's 7:45. Let's see who's celebrating birthdays.
Happy birthday.
We're celebrating a special anniversary this morning. Dennis and Gail Matheny is celebrating their 44th anniversary today. Gail, of course, as many of you know, has been in the hospital for some while, still in the hospital in Charlotte. Dennis talked with me this morning, and he's real thankful and appreciative of all of you who's contacted him and offered up prayers for them and Gail's condition. So he says thank you so very much. He didn't know how to get in touch with him. He's still there with the hospital with Gail. But it's their 44th wedding anniversary. So Dennis and Gail Matheny, this is your day. Continue to pray for her and lift Dennis up. Amanda Morrow, 42, is Chase Communities, having a birthday. And Angela Medford has to put up with Chad Medford. Bless her heart, she's 47 today. My, bless her hearts. She deserves a star in her crown. It's Keys to Confident Living coming up here in just a few.
Philip Keller, in his book A Shepherd's Look at Psalm 23, says, "The sheep will not lie down unless 4 basic requirements are met. 1, they are free of fear. 2, they are free from the friction with other sheep. 3, they are not tormented by flies or parasites. And 4, they have no need of finding food." Psalms 23 verse 2 says, "He, the good shepherd, makes me lie down in green pastures." The psalmist David was writing this passage from personal experience. He knew about fear, friction, flies, and food. It is also amazing how closely the experiences of the Psalms mirror our needs as well. We can be hindered from resting by the same reasons sheep can't settle down. You may be having trouble resting because of fear and friction or other pesky problems that seem every bit as bad as flies or parasites. The daily frustrations of living may be sapping you of needed strength and hope. Have you tried the Good Shepherd approach? Life indeed may be tough, but he leads you beside calm waters and causes you to lie down in lush pastures. Well, that doesn't mean that all problems cease to exist, but it does imply that as long as the shepherd is there, things are not as bad as they may seem. His very presence gives peace. In Psalms 3 verse 5 we read, "I lie down and sleep. I awake again because the Lord sustains me." If fear, friction, or flies are keeping you from rest, look to the Good Shepherd who cares for you and makes you to lie down in peace. This is Bill Hostler with today's Key to Confident Living.
Good morning. Good morning.
From ABC News, I'm Brian Clark. Schools are preparing to reopen at the same time as coronavirus case numbers increase in many areas of the country. On ABC's Good Morning America, CDC Director Dr. Rochelle Walensky was asked how to keep children safe.
How do we do that? We vaccinate our families so that our younger kids are not at risk, because by vaccinating your teenagers and adults in the household, you protect your young children from being at risk. And then when they go back to school, to have them wear masks.
This morning, the Surgeon General, Dr. Vivek Murthy, issued an advisory focused on what he calls the urgent threat of health misinformation. Details from ABC's Andy Field in Washington.
Dr. Murthy saying lies about COVID and vaccines are creating distrust in public health, promoting unproven treatment, and prolonging the pandemic. And it targets everyone from family members, social media, and news networks without naming them, saying the U.S. will not end the COVID crisis unless Americans rely on trusted medical sources.
Today, President Biden will mark the start of the expanded child tax credit. ABC's Rebecca Jarvis says more than 35 million families will see payments.
$250 per child, or $300 if your child is under 6 years old, and it is automatic. If you filed your taxes, it will be directly deposited for you.
The death toll from last month's condo collapse in South Florida is approaching 100, says ABC's Jim Ryan.
Of the 97 people known to have died, 90 have been identified. Meanwhile, a Miami-Dade judge on Wednesday cleared the way for the sale of the property where Champlain Towers South stood before June 24th. The concern of family members like Martin Longesfeld.
Some developer could come here and build a building on top of this, and everything is forgotten.
At the same time, some of the proceeds of the sale of the property could be directed to the victims of the collapse.
A wildfires erupted near Paradise, California, 3 years after a blaze there killed 85 people. You're listening to ABC News.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's MediShare. Maybe you've heard switching to MediShare to pay for healthcare can save the typical family $500 a month. And that's huge, but it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The customer satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. MediShare works. It's been around for more than a quarter century, and members have shared more than $3 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. 877-26-BIBLE. That's 877-26-BIBLE. 877-26-BIBLE.
With ransomware attacks up by 300% compared to last year, the Department of Justice and Department of Homeland Security have created what they call a one-stop shop to help. The news site stopransomware.gov brings together tools and information from a variety of sources. A new report is now detailing the failures of the FBI to properly investigate the sexual abuse allegations against former USA Gymnastics team doctor Larry Nassar. Details from ABC's Alex Stone.
The FBI did not treat the case against Larry Nassar with, quote, utmost seriousness, says the Justice Department's Inspector General in a new report. The report finding the FBI failed to act quickly, and when it did act, it did not notify the appropriate FBI office or local authorities. The report finding around 70 young athletes were allegedly sexually abused by Nassar, and some of the abuse began after USA Gymnastics reported allegations to the FBI in 2015. Alex Stone, ABC News.
In a statement, the FBI says actions of certain employees are, quote, inexcusable and a discredit to the organization. There's trouble for the International Olympic Committee's team of refugee athletes. One of the officials connected to the team has tested positive for COVID-19. That means almost all of the athletes on the team have to stay in Doha, Qatar, instead of traveling to Tokyo for the Olympics, which begin next week. No word yet on when they may be able to leave. This is ABC News.
Ask Sherwin-Williams and get your color your way. We've made it easier than ever to try and buy color. When you're ready to paint, shop online or stop by your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store and get everything you need.
Your nose is the body's air filter, the first line of defense against airborne allergens, bacteria, and viruses. You wash your hands to protect your health. Now you can clean your nose with Navage. Online at Navage.com. Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
Brian Clark, ABC News.
Your Thursday afternoon forecast involves a partly cloudy sky. We'll see some showers and thunderstorms popping up this afternoon and early evening. Highs today will be in the upper 80s and low 90s, though feeling much hotter through the afternoon. Dry Friday morning, but then Friday afternoon we'll see another chance for a stray shower and storm popping up. Highs Friday also in the upper 80s and low 90s. Better rain coverage in the forecast Saturday and especially on Sunday. I'm meteorologist Zach Malak in the Weather Center.
We've moved up a little bit from our earlier forecast of 66. We're now 68, but it's going to be climbing here pretty fast after a bit. The sun gets completely up and all the clouds are gone. It'll be about 90 for our daytime high, maybe even above 90, maybe 91, maybe 89, somewhere around 90 degrees. And this afternoon, expect about a 30% only a chance of precipitation. Had a couple of showers yesterday briefly. We may get one of those briefly kind of showers again today, but we'll keep watching that for you. Be sure to, when you're prepared for it, take your umbrella in the seat of your car there, have it ready for it just in case you get caught. I usually get caught with mine somewhere else, so I don't even worry about it anymore. Just get rained on, it's just fine. My hair won't do. My hair will do just fine. It won't frizz you up, so I know some people are concerned about all that. But we got a lot to cover this hour. And 9:05 this morning, I have a special guest on the phone with me, my Great America with Jim Butt. He's the president of Faith and Freedom Coalition in North Carolina. So we'll talk with him later on. But and we got special guest coming in here this morning with the Owls. He's the voice of the Owls, Howie Boxler. He'll be talking about the rest of the season. So he'll get here about 8:30 this morning. We'll talk with him and see what is happening at McNair Field. Our Braves road game will be broadcast Friday evening. Spartanburgers, First City Owls at Spartanburgers, and we'll have that game live as Howie broadcast from their facility there. A lot to cover. Let's get moving on, and we'll do that right after we check the air conditioner unit. Imagine being surrounded by comfort. At Immaculate Heating and Air Conditioning, they offer ultimate home comfort by Coleman. They will install a Coleman high-efficiency heating and cooling system and handle any service and maintenance, all for one low monthly payment with zero out-of-pocket costs for 10 years. That's right, 10 years with no service or repair fees, no maintenance fees, no unexpected cost at all. Ultimate home comfort. It's more comfort all around. Contact Nathan Blackburn at 828-755-5788. That's 755-5788, or visit ImmaculateHeatingandAir.com. Some stories that we were looking at this morning, and the sheriff will be talking more about it later. Let me give you the headlines of it. In Rutherford, a family dispute led to a son stabbing his father, Fleece Lane, Mooresboro, Wednesday. They learned that Adam Kenneth McGinnis stabbed his father, Douglas John McGinnis. It was revealed that the elder McGinnis had been taken to the hospital in a personal vehicle. He suffered stab wounds to his chest, neck, and wrist, and Adam was arrested. And Sheriff will talk more about that during his report coming up here this hour, next few minutes. Also, an argument over a girlfriend believed to have led to a Rutherford County shooting, according to the sheriff. Happened Tuesday night in the residence driveway. The shooting is over the apparently misunderstanding about a girlfriend. Told News 13, Sheriff Francis told News 13 deputies responded to a report of a shooting on Misty Lane, Rutherford, about 9:24 on July 13th, and that's on the sheriff's report too. We'll let you hear that full details in just a few moments. Hospitalized veterans in the mountains will now have more time to spend with their loved ones, according to a story from News 13. Starting yesterday, the Western North Carolina VA healthcare system is changing its visitation policy. That health system includes the Charles George VA Medical Center in Asheville, along with community-based outpatient clinics in Rutherford County, Hickory, and Franklin. Non-COVID-19 acute care veterans are now allowed one visitor per day between noon and 8 p.m. Visitors will be screened before entering the facility and will be required to wear masks during their visit, but they will open that up to give you more opportunity to visit your special people. Scott Carpenter with the Daily Courier is reporting that thanks to newly awarded grant funding from North Carolina Department of Public Instruction, the Rutherford County Schools will continue offering career and technical education in the 3 middle schools. R.S. Middle, East Rutherford Middle, and Chase Middle. Specifically, the money will fund the computer coding and mobile application development curriculum. This recent grant of $100,000 supports the program in combination with other funding sources. Coding and application development has been taught in middle schools for several years. Freeman says it gives students a valuable, engaging, hands-on learning experience. Charlie Freeman, the RCS Career and Technical Education Director, commented, "This leaves the student better prepared for high school, better prepared for jobs in the future, and it gives them an opportunity at an early age to discover a passion." So congratulations to Rutherford County Schools. 10 minutes after 8 o'clock. We took our own little poll the other morning about what you think about knocking on your door and find out if you've had the vaccination or not. Well, you're right in line with the nation, apparently. There was a poll, 1.8 million Americans have turned down jobs due to unemployment benefits. We talked about how many people are sitting home drawing money from the government when there are many jobs out here available. We have the job market report on Mondays. We see signs up and down the highway looking for help. Plants are looking for help. Restaurants are looking for help. Independent stores are looking for help. And they did a poll. 1.8 million Americans have turned down jobs due to unemployment benefits. It's a lot of people. Survey was, I receive enough money from unemployment insurance without having to work. I was not given enough money to return to work. The job was not within my desired industry. Job didn't allow remote work. The job required fixed working hours, not enough flexibility involved with that. But about 1.8 million have turned down jobs because of the generosity of unemployment insurance benefits, according to Morning Consult poll results released Wednesday. U.S. businesses have been wrestling with labor supply shortages as folks capable of working have opted not to work for a variety of reasons. One of the more political controversial reasons has been the availability of unemployment insurance benefits, in particular emergency provisions that were introduced because of the COVID-19 pandemic. By the numbers, Morning Consult surveyed 5,000 U.S. adults from June 22 to June 25, 2021. Of those actively collecting unemployment benefits, 29% said they turned down job offers during the pandemic. In response to a follow-up question, 45% of that group said they turned down jobs specifically because of the generosity of the government. Extrapolating from the 14.1 million adults collecting benefits as of June 19, Morning Consult concluded that 1.8 million people turned down job offers because of the generosity of the government. To be clear, this is in regard to any and all unemployment insurance benefits, including the standard 26 weeks worth of benefits, as well as the emergency benefits that are set to end by September. Furthermore, all 1.8 million won't necessarily find employment quickly, as jobs once offered to them may have been filled by others come that time. What they're saying, Morning Consult Chief Economist John Lear cautions against concluding that this completely validates calls to cut unemployment benefits early. Bottom line, getting people to move from relying on unemployment insurance to wage income doesn't just automatically happen. They're trying to get folks out of the being accustomed to receiving all of that money for not working when there are so many jobs that perhaps could build into a bright future, promotions, where you at some point could be making a whole lot more than you're making doing nothing. But that's your decision to do whatever. Well, Representative Jim Jordan, he congressman from Ohio, he said liberals are responsible for starting the culture war in America. The left started the culture war, he said. He tweeted out on Tuesday, listing 7 ways that liberals have instigated and stoked cultural conflict. You know there's a conflict out there between liberals and conservatives. Well, here's what Jim Jordan says. That the left started the culture war because of some of their antics. He said first they kneeled for the anthem instead of standing in respect of it. They let boys play girls' sports. They pushed critical race theory. They politicized July 4th. They tried to cancel Christmas. They tore down statues, and they made up genders. The left thinks they're better than you, but they aren't. Jordan tweeted earlier in the day in a post criticizing liberals for name-calling, race-baiting, mocking religion, and scoffing at gun ownerships. He pegged it, right? He pegged it. He's been around them long enough to see what's going on. More stuff coming up in just a moment with the Sheriff's Report with all the information you need to know, 15 minutes after 8 o'clock.
Saving money is easy when you shop at Jay's Discount Grocery. From snack foods to vegetables, fresh fruits to fresh cut meats, paper products, cleaning supplies, dog food, and so much more. You know, you just never know what you'll find at Jay's. So shop and save today. They're located at 671 Oak Street in Forest City, right beside the Hospice Resale Store. You know, when you shop at Jay's, you always walk out with money left over in your pocket. There are plenty of drugstores in Rutherford County, but not all of them offer the same personal customer service that is offered at the Medicine Box of Rutherfordton. Laura Hodge and her team have trusted experience and professional service. You're not just a number to them, you're a friend. Make the Medicine Box of Rutherfordton your hometown drugstore at 200 Charlotte Road in Rutherfordton. Open Monday through Friday, 9 to 6, Saturdays 9 to 1, 287-7117.
Here is a big auction you'll want to attend Saturday, July 17th at 9 o'clock in the morning. It's the Bullock Family Relocating Auction. The family is relocating and wanting to sell their items they no longer have in need of, such as skid steer backhoe attachment by Case, a 6x12 tandem axle trailer, a 6x6 tandem axle trailer, several oak chest of drawers, antique secretary, cane bottom chairs, oak rocker, a pair of porch rockers, marble top cabinet, nice lamps. You'll also be able to bid on a 4x5 entertainment center, cedar chest, 2 folding ping pong tables, camping items, Quest men's mountain bike, and way more than we can mention on this ad. Just be there Saturday morning, July 17th at 9 o'clock to see what else is selling. You'll be surprised. 264 Brookridge Drive, located on Tanner's Grove Road, just off Doggett Road, is a good one handled professionally by Norville Auction. They always do it right. Preview 8 o'clock until sell time, day of sale. That is Saturday, July 17th. And the sheriff was with us earlier, gave us a report from the Sheriff's Department.
Jim, in the last 24 hours, the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office has responded to 142 calls of service. There have been 12 arrests processed at the county jail. Currently incarcerated, we have 175. Among those arrested, Christopher Lee Hamrick, 33-year-old male of Forest City, was charged with trespassing, driving while license revoked, received a $500 unsecured bond. Kevin Matthew Pruitt, 34-year-old male of Forest City, was charged with failure to appear and received a $3,000 secured bond. Bobby Dean Laws, 23-year-old male of Morrisboro, was charged with larceny, received a $500 secured bond. Jessica Ashley Boyd Fisher, 42-year-old female of Rutherford, was charged with failure to appear, received a $2,000 secured bond. Jack Rodney Short, 34-year-old male of Rutherford, was charged with breaking and entering, larceny, 2 counts of larceny of a firearm, received a $30,000 secured bond. Alexis Rahan Kelly, 19-year-old female of Ellenboro, was charged with harassing phone call and received a written promise to appear. Stephen Dale Schaefer, 42-year-old male of Ellenboro, was charged with domestic violence protective order violation, drug paraphernalia, possession of meth, received a $14,000 secure bond. We had a larceny on Rock Road in Union Mills. There was 6 landscaping timbers, about $100 that were taken. We had a separate incident, a attempted larceny on Chase High Road in Forest City, where someone was trying to take a train heat pump. There was some copper wire that was damaged in that incident. Suspects were seen, they believed to be in a newer model navy blue truck. The male had a big white beard, and there was also a heavyset white female with that suspect, appeared to be a lookout. We had a larceny on Rock Road in Union Mills. There were tools stolen from a carport, a black and yellow 4K generator valued at $500, a Husqvarna Rancher chainsaw valued at $600, a Husqvarna weed eater valued at $250, a Home White Super XL chainsaw valued at $200, and a Craftsman push mower valued at $225. We also had a B&E on Cycle Run in Forest City. Looks like a Lenovo Duet Chromebook with a 10-inch screen that at $204 was taken, as well as a silver ring with turquoise and gold stone, as well as a larceny of a firearm on US 221A. A separate incident, a High Point .45 caliber valued at $200 was taken by a relative after a disagreement. We had a larceny on Dunker Church Road from Ruston there. There was a Super Start car battery valued at $100 that was taken. And Jim, that's what we had to report in the last 24 hours, but I'd like to give you an update on incidents that occurred on Tuesday as well.
Yes, please do.
On Tuesday, deputies had responded out to 211 Fleece Lane. This was an incident where we had Doug McGinnis had been stabbed by his son, Adam Kenneth McGinnis. The wounds appeared to be by a K-bar knife. He had wounds to his chest and his neck area. In that particular instance, he was driven to the hospital there in Gaffney and then flown to Spartanburg from Gaffney Hospital. Deputies were able to take Adam Kenneth McGinnis into custody there on the scene, and detectives were able to talk to Doug that night. Glad to get him in custody, and hated that incident occurred. It appears that Adam lived in the home with his father, and a disagreement he had between his brother that the dad was trying to intervene, and that's when this occurred. Later on that night at 9:24 p.m. at 202 Misty Lane, Roger Ledford was in his driveway when a black GMC truck had pulled up. Dusty Lane Jolly was in that truck. He had words with Roger that night, apparently over a girlfriend of Roger's, and of Roger, and he pulled out what we believe is a .410 revolver and shot one time, but it using what appeared to be birdshot, it did cause damage to Roger's arm and chest, and he underwent surgery after he was flown to Spartanburg Medical. We do not have Dusty Lane Jolly in custody at this point, but we do have warrants for his arrest for assault with a deadly weapon inflicting serious injury. He does have a Chesney address, and we did request Cherokee County to go check that address that night. We are working with Spartanburg County and Cherokee County trying to take him into custody.
Thank you, Sheriff Chris Francis. Now, if you missed part of the sheriff's report, you can hear it again this afternoon during the afternoon call-around report. We replay this one. Or you can go to our website at www.wcab59.com and listen to the live broadcast, live feed. It'll be up on the website in about an hour after we finish broadcasting live. And you can catch it and listen to the entire program, or pick out, just slide down the scale there and pick out the sheriff's report again. Our live feed, we broadcast live from 7 to 9 most mornings, Monday through Saturday. And because we don't stream the music, we have to flip in and flip out. So we hope you'll join us. If you're somewhere away from home and still want to stay in touch with what's happening locally, you can do that on the web, World Wide Web, at www.wcab59.com. Coming up here in just a few moments, I'll update you on sports news, and we got more stuff to talk about after that.
NCN Sports, I'm Josh Zach.
Holiday, Middleton, inside, he banks it home. This building is shaking.
Mike Breen with the call on ABC Sports as the Bucks rally to beat the Suns 109-103 last night in Milwaukee to nod the NBA Finals at 2 games apiece. The Bucks trailed by 9 in the fourth before Chris Middleton scored 10 straight, including the go-ahead bucket. He says they picked up their game in the final frame.
I think for a majority of the game, we had a lot of great looks. We missed them. A lot of layups, a lot of open threes. Just hope at some point they're going to fall, but at the same time, you have to get stops. And in that fourth quarter, we were able to get stops when we needed to.
Middleton finished with 40 points on the night. Greek freak Giannis Antetokounmpo had 26 points, 14 rebounds, and 8 assists. He said they were determined to get the win. Suns guard Devin Booker had a game-high 42, while Chris Paul had a rough night, 10 points on 5 of 13 shooting. And he shouldered blame for the team's 17 turnovers.
It was me. I had 5 of them. Bad decision-making. I had some bad passes in the first half.
Game 5 is Saturday in Phoenix. Meanwhile, the New Orleans Pelicans are negotiating with Suns assistant Willie Green about taking over as their head coach. That's according to a person familiar with the situation, who added that no deal is in place and discussions could extend beyond the finals. NFL defensive back Richard Sherman is in jail, arrested yesterday in King County in Seattle. Authorities said he crashed his SUV into a suburban construction zone and then tried to break into his in-laws' home and fought with officers who used a police dog to apprehend him. Sherman's ex-wife, Ashley, placed a call to 911.
What's he doing that you think he's going to harm himself?
He's being aggressive. He has sent text messages. I took the keys out. They're in your car. He's trying to leave now in the house. He's being aggressive. He's wrestling with my uncle. He's threatening to kill himself. He has sent text messages to people saying he's going to hang himself.
Sherman was booked on suspicion of resisting arrest, malicious mischief, and residential burglary. This is NCN Sports.
This is a big deal. Now, at healthcare.gov, millions more people can afford health coverage. Due to the COVID relief law, 4 out of 5 customers can get a plan for under $10 a month with financial help. From doctor visits to preventive services to prescription drugs, these are quality plans. You can do this. You can have coverage as soon as August 1st if you sign up now at healthcare.gov, paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Medicaid is changing in North Carolina, but your local community health centers are still here to care for all patients, whether or not you have health coverage. If you want to make changes to your Medicaid coverage, act now by visiting ncmedicaidplans.gov. That's ncmedicaidplans.gov, where you can choose your local community health center as your primary care provider for affordable, high-quality health care. This message brought to you by the North Carolina Community Health Center Association.
A glass ceiling is about to break on an upcoming big league baseball broadcast.
It's not the case for the Orioles whatsoever. They're average on...
That's Melanie Newman, a Baltimore Orioles announcer. She'll call the action next week when the team plays the Tampa Bay Rays on MLB's Game of the Week Live on YouTube. The analyst will be Sarah Lang, an MLB.com writer. Alana Rizzo will be the on-field reporter. Heidi Watney and Lauren Gardner will handle the pre- and post-game shows. All are women in what will be a first for a Major League broadcast. Steve Kathan, CBS News.
LA Dodgers pitcher Trevor Bauer won't be able to return to the team until at least July 27th after his leave of absence was extended yesterday by Major League Baseball and the Players Association. The sports investigators continue to check into allegations of sexual misconduct against the Cy Young Award winner, who was placed on 7 days paid leave on July 2nd. Police in Pasadena.
Your Thursday afternoon forecast involves a partly cloudy sky. We'll see some showers and thunderstorms popping up this afternoon and early evening. Highs today will be in the upper 80s and low 90s, though feeling much hotter through the afternoon. Dry Friday morning, but then Friday afternoon we'll see another chance for a stray shower and storm popping up. Highs Friday also in the upper 80s and low 90s. Better rain coverage in the forecast Saturday and especially on Sunday. I'm meteorologist Zach Malak in the Weather Center.
It's finally reached 70 here this morning, folks. We started out at 66. It's been climbing slowly but surely. It's up to 70 now, with highs today expected to reach about 90. Then tonight, about 67. Just perfect for whatever you're doing outdoors tonight. Maybe a ball game. Who knows what may take place. We're going to talk about baseball here in just a few moments, about the Forest City Owls, our own baseball team. And we'll talk about that in just a moment. Right now, let's hear this.
Smith's Drugs of Forest City will once again sponsor the Meet Me at the Fountain 5K race on July the 24th. And this year's race will be a live event, pending no changes in the current downward trend of the new COVID cases. Go to www.facebook.com/meetmeatthefountain5k for more information and to get sponsorship forms. Beneficiaries this year are the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation, Yoke Fellow, and the Chase Corner Ministries. And now the soda fountain is now fully open, and Smith's Drugs is no longer offering curbside for the fountain. However, the back door is still locked as Smith's Drugs continues curbside service for the pharmacy only. The COVID-19 vaccination is available Monday through Friday only, and walk-ins are welcome. Again, the soda fountain now open at Smith's Drugs. And don't forget the upcoming 5K race. So get your sponsorship forms at Smith's Drugs in Forest City.
And it's 8:30 this morning here on WCAB live from the Blue Room, and we'd like to talk baseball. And with us this morning is the voice of the Forest City Owls, Howie Boxley. Good morning. How you doing today?
I'm doing great, Jim. How are you doing this morning?
Great.
Thanks for having me.
It's always good to see you. You always seem fresh, although you have late games, but you had a little break here lately, haven't you?
Yes, sir, we did. So last night we got rained out in Thomasville, and prior to that we had 3 off days in a row, which was our longest stretch of off days, and most of the teams in the CPL had that time off, sort of a mini all-star break. Unfortunately, no all-star game festivities this year in the CPL, but it was nice for everybody to get a little bit of a break as we head into the last stretch of the season.
Now, how will you make up the rain outage?
So we go to Thomasville one more time, and I believe it'll be a doubleheader next Friday when we're in Thomasville.
A lot of things been going on. Tell us how the Owls have been doing. Then we'll talk about some of the up-and-coming things.
All right, so the Owls have been doing pretty well this season. They have Will Butcher and Cam Fisher, both who attend UNC Charlotte. They have been hitting great for us. Josiah Siegel and Tom Shumalewski from Georgia Tech and Princeton have both done very well on the mound, and it's just been great to watch the team come together and play some summer baseball. They come from all across the country, and they get a chance to improve their craft and then hopefully be better when they go back to their schools in the fall.
Do you have any more games you have left for the season?
So we only have 13 games left this season, which is pretty incredible to me. It's really coming down to it. Only about 2.5 weeks left in the season.
How many of those will be home games?
We have quite a bit of home games coming up. All of the final Saturdays will be home games at McNair, and we've got big events planned for each one of those Saturdays.
Tell us about some of those events. I think folks will be excited about that.
Yeah, so this Saturday we have our truck giveaway, giving away a Chevrolet ST, and all you have to do is show up to the game, and you're entered to win that truck as long as you're over 18. So it's basically just the price of admission, and you'll be put into a raffle. We'll pull in the 7th or 8th inning, and somebody's going to go home lucky. Then the Saturday after that, we have another concert. It'll be Rocky Yeldon and the Hired Guns at McNair Field. Admission will stay the same as it is for a normal game. So again, price of admission, and you get a free concert after the game. And then the final Saturday, which is July 31st, that's the final Saturday of the regular season, and we'll have another fireworks show at McNair, and we'll go out with a bang.
Those fireworks have really been great. Folks have bragged about how good they are, so I'm glad you're doing those.
Yeah, the fireworks are awesome after the game. I mean, the players, the interns, and everybody just really enjoys the fireworks, and you get the best seat in the house if you come into McNair Field, and they're just awesome every time.
Our injury list still in good shape?
It is in good shape. I think since last time I've talked to you, actually, we haven't had any new ones crop up besides some minor tweaks here and there, miss a couple games, but we have been very fortunate this year to not have any long-term injuries to a multitude of guys.
Yeah, that's great. What about this? What about working here in Forest City with the Forest City Owls that has impressed you the most?
To me, it's been how not only the players come from across the country and have to work together, but the intern team as well. I've been very glad to work with our owner, Phil, and our director of operations, Stephanie, along with our slew of interns. And I think it has just been great how we have been able to bond and put together a baseball season in a short amount of time. I mean, a lot goes into it, and it's a lot of long hours, a lot of hard work. But everybody involved is very dedicated, and we really just do it for the community, obviously. We want the town of Forest City to have the best experience at the ballpark that they can, and I think that we've done a good job of making that happen this year.
How much time do you have to put into practice to be able to pronounce some of the last names of some of these ball players? They don't have Joneses and Smiths anymore.
Yeah, some of these guys do have some crazy names. We just got a guy in yesterday, actually, Canan, not Canaan like you would think, but Cannon. So, just things like that will come up. Kirby Connell. It took him a long time to get here, and it was always a debate whether it was going to be Connell or Cannell, and it turned out to be neither one. It was Connell. So just things like that, Jim, and I really just want to stay on top of it, of course, for the players and their families. Don't want to mess up anybody's name because they're not all as easy as you. So.
That's right. The broadcast that you do on the web, how can folks reach that? Of course, we carry some of the road games. We'll have another one on Friday night, I believe. How can folks reach you through the web?
Right. So, of course, I appreciate you guys for having, taking some of our broadcasts on WCAB, of course, whenever we have those. You can pick them up there. On the road, we'll be on Mixlr, which is MIXLR. Type in Forest City Owls Baseball. That's free for all our road games tonight. We'll be at home, of course, so we will be streaming with our new streaming partner, which is Flow Sports. You just type in Flow Sports, and if you have a subscription, you type in Coastal Plain League Baseball, and you get a number of sports, including the CPL, where you could find the Forest City Owls.
I believe you told me that this is an interest of yours to pursue as a career, radio sports broadcasting.
Yeah, that's right, Jim. So we got a few weeks left this season, then I'll be back to the University of Alabama, and we'll see what is in store for next summer. Got to figure out what's up with that, and then hopefully down the road I'll be able to continue broadcasting.
First pitch is generally 7:05 at home.
That's right, 7:05, no different tonight. Hopefully the weather will stay good for us, and we can get in some baseball tonight, full 9.
And who are you playing tonight?
The Spartanburgers. So it'll be the last time that the Spartanburgers come up to McNair. We play them the most of any team in the CPL, and it's crazy that it's the final time that they'll be at McNair Field. We play them 14 times total this season.
Wow. And that game Friday night's with the Spartanburgers.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So we'll turn around and go to Spartanburg on Friday for the Owls, and we'll have an Outlaws game at home against the Spartanburgers as well. So.
Well, you're doing a good job with that broadcast. I've heard you broadcast those games, and you're very professional sounding, so you do a good job.
I appreciate you, Jim. You sound very professional as well.
Thank you. You have a bright future in sports broadcasting if you pursue that. I think you're cut out for that.
Well, I appreciate that, Jim.
And we look forward to hearing you next time. We're glad that you came by to keep us posted.
Thanks, as always, for having me, Jim. It's a pleasure.
I'll be back in just a moment.
There are so many insurance agencies here and there, but to find a dependable agency that you can trust, that would be Maxwell B. Hamrick Insurance Agency. They are your full-service agency offering auto, business, homeowners, health, and life. Maxwell B. Hamrick is an independent insurance agent. Call them today at 286-2384. They care about their customers, and it shows. They're located at 119 Huntley Street in Spindale. Maxwell B. Hamrick Insurance Agency, serving one satisfied customer at a time.
My Great America with Jim and Bush. This morning at 9:05, we have a special guest, President of North Carolina Faith and Freedom Coalition, and we'll have that action right here on the radio, so be sure to hang around and join us for that. Some other things going on that we like to hit on this morning and talk about. It's the thing that's going on, and I hope to maybe get an interview with some folks who live here from Cuba. They can sort of give us a personal insight into what's happening down there. You've seen the protests. They're all fighting against communism, socialism. They want the freedom that America has. Many of the folks down in Cuba waving American flags, and they want America to help stand by them. But unfortunately, our leadership there in Washington is not going to bat for them, as though they are condoning communism. I don't know why they're saying, but Psaki, White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki, refused to speak out against communism in Cuba when pressed on Wednesday about the root causes of the ongoing crisis on the island nation. A reporter asked Psaki, do you think people are leaving Cuba because they don't like communism? As the administration tries to figure out the root cause of migration to the country, don't we know that the reason people want to leave Cuba is because they don't like communism? She said, do you think people are leaving Cuba because they don't like communism? Well, she didn't respond to it. She refuses to condemn communism in Cuba. She says, I think I've been pretty clear that we think people are leaving Cuba or not leaving Cuba are protesting in the streets as well because they are opposed to the oppression, to the mismanagement of the government in the country. And we certainly support their right to protest. We support their efforts to speak out against their treatment in Cuba. Nothing about they are opposed to communism. What is with these folks up there that they're afraid to condemn communism and socialism? Is that because so many of them are eat up with it? Should I say eaten up with it? So many of them have embraced that support of socialism and communism to the point that this administration concurs with what they're doing or saying and don't want to condemn them. You would think the press secretary, you'd think the president of the United States or the vice president would condemn communism in our neighbor's country. But no, she just sort of hem-hawed around. I think we've been pretty clear that we think people are leaving Cuba or not leaving Cuba, are protesting in the streets as well because they are opposed to the oppression, to the mismanagement of the government in the country. And we certainly support their right to protest. We support their efforts to speak out against their treatment in Cuba. Where is Ronald Reagan? Where's Donald Trump at a time like this? What would they say? They would be supporting these folks that are trying to change the government in Cuba. They'd be supporting these folks that are trying to escape the onslaught of communism and socialism in our closest neighbor to the south of us. No, they're just sort of like crickets, quiet. Don't want to upset anybody. Another thing, let me mention to you, I think is something I want to keep top of the mind with you because I know you're supposed to be listening. You're important people. Many of you have responsibilities in the community and in your churches and in your businesses, in your classrooms, and you need to know those kinds of things, what's going on out there, and that's why we keep bringing it forward so you'll actually get a feel of what the battle is. There's a medical ethics journal. It says, don't let moms and dads stop kids from having sex change. Let the kids make their own mind up. Parents should lose veto power over most transition-related pediatric care, according to the medical journal. It should be children, it says, not their parents, who decide whether or not to undergo life-changing transgender treatment and surgery. That's an article in the prominent Journal of Medical Ethics. Author Maura Priest, a candidate professor at Arizona State University, wrote that parents who don't want their children to transition should lose veto power over most transition-related pediatric care. In other words, get out of the way, parents, and let your kids do what they want to do in terms of whether they think God made a mistake. A child who is determined by a health professional to be informed and competent should have the right to make that decision, she said. If the medical community is to take LGBT testimony seriously, as they should, I'm still quoting, then it is no longer the job of physicians to do their own weighing of the costs and benefits of transition-related care. Assuming the patient is informed and competent, then only the child patient can make this assessment because only the patient has access to the true weight of transition-related benefits. Only a child can decide if he or she wants to grow up with the opposite sex. Like they have the mental capacity in terms of logic at an early age as a child, 8-year-old, 7-year-old, say, oh, Mom, Dad, I want to be transitioned into the opposite sex. Well, okay, son or daughter, then you're smart enough to make that decision. No, they're not. The public remains opposed to children undergoing sex change treatment and surgery. A September 2020 poll of 3,500 likely voters by Spry Strategies and sponsored by the Women's Liberation Front found 54% strongly opposed it and only 8% strongly agreed that children should have that privilege. I'm surprised that there's not more than 54% that's opposed to it. Where are the rest of the folks? Just sort of sitting quietly and wondering what's going to happen? Folks, we got to get off the bench. We got to get in the fight. Only 54% strongly oppose the idea that parents need to step out of the way and let their young children decide if they want to have sex change or not. Should we step out of the way, parents? Should we step out of the way and let a child decide if they want to take a drink of liquor, or they want to smoke a marijuana cigarette, or should we step out of the way if we decide they want to fill their rooms with pornographic materials? Should we step out of the way to let them make that decision? It makes about as much sense as what they're saying we should do. Step out of the way, let the child decide if they want a sex change or not. Should we step out of the way and let the child have a loaded gun in their bedroom with them? Absolutely not. Can you see how difficult the logic behind why they're saying these kind of things is? Not making any sense, folks. They don't make any sense, but yet we're going along with it. We don't want to make anybody mad. Want to make anybody mad? We need to let everybody decide what to. Well, kids don't need to decide that early what they want. And when they get to be an adult, if they have that mindset they want to do that, then that's their prerogative. But not as a child. Not as a child. Train up away a child, bring up a child where he should be brought up, and he will not depart from it. Anyway, Biden's COVID door knockers get thumbs down from America. We did this poll the other morning, and it only had one person say they thought it was a good idea to knock on doors and ask you if you've been vaccinated. Everybody else said, no way. There's a new national poll that has found Americans giving a thumbs down to Joe Biden's agenda to send strike forces door-to-door across America to convince people to take the COVID vaccinations. Hello, I'm from the government. I want to see if you've had your vaccination. Rasmussen reports found that 53% of likely U.S. voters think it's a bad idea for sending teams door-to-door, literally knocking on doors. 53% found it's a bad idea. Only 53%. Only 37% believe Biden's plan to have officials try to persuade, possibly argue with Americans that their front door is a good idea. 37% believe that they should impose upon our lives at our home and just to check to see if we've had a vaccination. Where does that stop? Oh, but while I'm here, let me check to see if you have any guns in your house. Oh, wait a minute. Let me see. What are you eating? Meat from cows? Or so where's this all stop, folks? We can't let that happen. The survey of 1,000 U.S. likely voters was conducted July 11th and 12th by Rasmussen Reports. The margin of sampling error is plus minus 3 percentage points with 95% level of confidence. A report in Paul Bedard's Washington Secrets described the poll results this way. Go away. Biden's door-to-door hunt for unvaccinated rejected. Go away. He pointed out that only Democrats and liberals like this idea of knocking on the door and asking if you've been vaccinated. But only 22% of conservatives endorse it. What's more, blacks, whites, men, and women reject the idea wholeheartedly. He explained Democrats also are in favor of companies demanding that workers take the experimental vaccine. They like that control of our lives by the federal government. I don't like that control. I'm a mature adult. I can make those decisions on my own, whether or not I want to or don't want to. He went on to explain Democrats are in favor of companies demanding that workers take the experimental vaccine. Similarly, 56% of Democrats believe it should be legal for employers to require employees to get vaccinated against COVID-19, but only 34% of Republicans and 36% of unaffiliated agree with that. Among the respondents, 71% said they have been vaccinated, including 68% of the GOP and 79% of the Democrats. The campaign already had faced significant opposition, especially after one county in Illinois posted instructions for those interrogators on how to act when they confront you, including for them to ignore no soliciting signs. There was no mention, however, of whether they're supposed to ignore no trespassing directives. We went from 15 days to slow the spread to Biden's Gestapo knocking door to door to see your papers, wrote Jenna Ellis, who did Nazi that one coming. So there you go. Meanwhile, 10 minutes before the hour of 9 o'clock, 9:05 this morning, My Great America with Jim and Butch. Special guest on the program with us this morning. A couple of other things that, let me see here. I'm see what I got going here. I better do this, and I'll be back.
Nobody gets a better deal than the customers at Sisk Family Ford. They have a proven record of the best deals. Sisk Family Ford, Rutherford County's only locally owned new car dealer, has recently been recognized as the #1 Ford dealer in customer satisfaction in the Southeast. That speaks well of their commitment to serve their customers well. Come take advantage of the springtime sales event and get the automobile you've been wanting. Look for all the new design 2021 F-150 at Rutherford County's only locally owned new car dealership. That's Sisk Family Ford, Oak Street, Forest City.
More music, WCAB.
Well, we don't have any music right now. We'll have some about 9:30 this morning. We'll take you down memory lane with some classic oldies. It's really been a big hit for you. And speaking of hit, the Foothills Journal that we produce every year right about this time to go out in August to 20,000 homes. It's in the final stages of being prepared. We're pulling the information in, pulling the ads in for our great sponsors. And we'll have all that ready to go here in a few days and be sending those out the 1st of August. I have all the fun things that you like to read, all the reminiscing of past years of pictures and logos and football schedules, the school schedules, a whole lot of things going on that you'll like to have it. You love those pictures, and there's always some fun things in there to deal with as well. But that'll be going out here pretty soon, and we're putting in the information out for the advertisements. And we appreciate so very much those folks who sponsor this every year. It's a fun project. Just a few more minutes left, but let me mention this. Catholic Church has removed a priest who said Catholics shouldn't vote for pro-abortion Democrats. He said Catholics should not vote for pro-abortion Democrats. A Wisconsin priest attracted national controversy for telling Catholics to reject the Democratic Party because of its radical pro-abortion stance has been removed from the ministry. You believe this, folks? On Friday, the Diocese of La Crosse announced a decree from Bishop William Callahan for the removal of Father James Altman, according to the Catholic News Agency. Bishop William Patrick Callahan said in accordance with the norms of canon law, he's issued a decree for the removal of Father James Altman as pastor of St. James the Less Parish. The obligation of a bishop is to ensure that all who serve the faithful are able to do so while unifying and building the body of Christ. In May, Altman told his parishioners that Callahan accused him of being divisive and ineffective and asked him to resign. At the time, Altman said he obtained a canon lawyer to challenge the request. This is the Catholic Church removing a man because he was preaching to the people and say, hey, you shouldn't be supporting these folks who believe it's okay to kill babies. He's wondering why folks are accusing him of being divisive. If we know the truth divides exactly as Jesus says. Why is it any good Catholic complaining about me being divisive? As a matter of fact, good Catholics from around the world have been very supportive. Unfortunately, in our cancel culture, if the left whines enough, they want to cancel me. So there you go, folks. But don't let that stop you from speaking out, regardless what you might be doing. Speak out regardless of it. Without folks ahead of us, they came before we did, along the pathway of building this great country. Without them standing forward and fighting for what they thought was the right thing to do, we would not be where we are today in a free country. And we're losing that freedom by miles and miles about every month. Don't let that happen. Stand free. Get involved. Fight the cause. Fight the good fight. And stay ahead and be a part of all that. We encourage you to do that. That's why we bring this up, not to rile anybody up, not to be on opposition and things, but just to let you know this is what's happening in the good fight out there, because it is a big, big fight. And America is better than what we're trying to lead it down to right now. America is better than what they're trying to make it to be. We're better than all that. We have been over the years. We always have had scars and blemishes and ugly moments and bad people and ugly things happening to us, but we're better than what we're trying to become, right? We're better than communism. We're better than socialism, and we need to fight every time we hear somebody leading us down that road. We need to fight it and read up on what's going on. Read up on the rules and regulations of the culture of communism and the culture of socialism, and read up why those folks in Cuba are trying their best to get away from it. If communism, socialism has never worked where people are free. Never has. They've always been a dictator or somewhere telling you what you should and shouldn't do. Do I see that happening? Do I see that in the mirror of coming dictatorship telling us what we should do and what we shouldn't do? Do I see that happening here? I hope not. All right, we're going to take a little break, get out of the way here for news coming up at the top of the hour in My Great America with Jim Butch in just a few moments. Enjoyed being with you. Hope you'll join me again on a Friday morning edition of the Wake Up Call from WCAB.
Economic recovery is on display today as fewer Americans file claims for unemployment benefits, says ABC's Jim Ryan.
Last week, 360,000 unemployed Americans filed their first claims for benefits, 26,000 fewer than the week before, according to preliminary numbers from the Labor Department. The week before that, the revised figure actually rose by 13,000, but the 4-week moving average, the figure closely watched by analysts, remains on a downward slope.
Another sign of the economic recovery is inflation, says Claudia Sahm, a former Federal Reserve economist and senior fellow at the Jane Family Institute. She says the surge of inflation in June is not permanent and a sign things are getting back on track.
People are getting vaccinated, they're coming out, and that means there's a lot of people in the stores, and in some cases we have some goods that there aren't enough of them right now, so prices go up.
Today, President Biden will host German Chancellor Angela Merkel at the White House. This morning, he'll also highlight the administration's expanded child tax credit, says ABC's Karen Travers.
The first round of payments from the expanded child tax credit start going out today, the majority hitting bank accounts through direct deposit, $15 billion to American families of some 60 million children. The payments, up to $300 per child under age 6, up to $250 per child ages 6 through 17.
Health experts say the Delta variant of COVID-19 is to blame for the increase in coronavirus cases in many areas of the country. But CDC Director Dr. Rochelle Walensky tells ABC that children in areas with low vaccination rates are at risk, especially when some places have banned masks in schools.
Many of the outbreaks that we're investigating now, that we're working with states to investigate now, are a result of not practicing those prevention measures.
Currently across the U.S., there are more than 70 wildfires currently burning. You're listening to ABC News.
If the pandemic's taught us anything, it's that the easiest way for germs to get into your body is the nose. We all know how to wash our hands, but how do you clean your nose? For over 2 million Americans, the answer is Navage Nasal Care. Navage uses powered suction to flush out allergens, mucus, and germs that cause congestion, colds, and flu, so you can breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier. Better yet, Navage is all natural and drug-free. That's why one of America's top respiratory hospitals recommends nasal irrigation to stay healthy, explaining that bacteria and viruses thrive in warm and moist environments and that you can wash away those germs so they don't make your nose their home. Experience Navage at zero risk. Go to Navage.com, buy Navage, and use it for a month. If you're not delighted, return it for a full refund. There's nothing to lose and a lifetime of better breathing to gain. Also available at Target, Walgreens, CVS, Bed Bath, and Rite Aid. Navage, Navage.
Sentencing for the man convicted of killing University of Iowa student Molly Tibbetts was supposed to be today, but now it's being delayed. A judge has agreed to put sentencing on hold so new information about other potential suspects can be investigated. Christian Rivera is facing life without the possibility of parole. Pop star Britney Spears is winning the right to hire her own lawyer for the first time in more than a decade. She's fighting the conservatorship that has ruled her life. In the same hearing, Spears told the judge that she has been afraid of her father.
In court, a tearful Britney Spears called in by phone. Spears detailed what she calls her illegal work schedule, in which she says she was forced to be available 10 hours per day, every day. And at times, she says her caretakers took away her hair vitamins and even her coffee. Spears saying, "That's not abuse, that's just cruelty." Jamie Spears was adamant he is not stepping down. His lawyers saying there are a lot of misstatements in Britney's testimony.
ABC's Andrea Fujii. NFL free agent Richard Sherman is in a jail cell this morning in Washington after being arrested. His wife had called 911 saying he was trying to force his way into her parents' home. He is facing a charge of domestic violence and resisting arrest. LG is ready to bring a TV that can roll up and hide out of the way into the U.S. The 65-inch screen can roll down into a housing unit. It costs $100,000. This is ABC News.
The U.S. dollar is plummeting. Protect your savings against inflation with precious metals. I'm Dinesh D'Souza for Birch Gold Group. Birch Gold Group is who I trust to help you protect your IRA or 401k with gold and silver. With thousands of satisfied customers, an A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau. Get a free information kit by texting the word PROTECT to 989898. Again, text PROTECT to 989898 today.
Brian Clark, ABC.
Your Thursday afternoon forecast involves a partly cloudy sky. We'll see some showers and thunderstorms popping up this afternoon and early evening. Highs today will be in the upper 80s and low 90s, though feeling much hotter through the afternoon. Dry Friday morning, but then Friday afternoon we'll see another chance for a stray shower and storm popping up. Highs Friday also in the upper 80s and low 90s. Better rain coverage in the forecast Saturday and especially on Sunday. I'm meteorologist Zach Malak in the Weather Center.
It's another beautiful day in the neighborhood. Sunny skies right now in 74. We started out at 66, climbing real fast now up to our expected high of 90 with a lot of humidity here in the foothills. It's 9:05.
It's time now for My Great America with Jim and Butch. A conversation about positive things about this great country. And now here are Jim and Butch.
Well, good morning, Butch. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing well. I'm up here in Virginia, this time with my brother Mark, and everybody can be, as we say in my church, holding on. I'm going to be going up into the attic on a hot, stuffy day and trying to organize some things there. So, if you think about it, think about your partner, your My Great America partner up there in the attic, trying to sort through things, get things down to take the Goodwill or King's Daughters, thrift stores. So that'll be my day today. But you know what, Jim? We have got a very exciting guest that we're going to have on today. You'll be doing the interview with him. Jason Williams, you won't want to miss it. And right now, call a friend and let them know this interview is going to be very, very important to really understanding what's happening, especially with the midterm elections coming up. Jason Williams is the executive director of the North Carolina Faith and Freedom Coalition. He's worked to organize canvassing efforts in North Carolina with Faith and Freedom since 2016. In 2020, he led the largest faith-based get-out-the-vote effort in the history of North Carolina. Now, Jim, you're going to go into details with him on how, as a former county commissioner, he led the charge to help defund the morning after pill. He supported funding for the local crisis pregnancy center. He sponsored a resolution supporting marriage between a man and a woman, and he put the national motto, "In God We Trust," on the county courthouse.
Oh, boy.
He and his wife, Shannon, live in Gastonia. They've been blessed with 6 children. It's going to be a wonderful interview, and I'm looking forward to listening as you unpack all those things with him.
I'm glad to know a man like him that really puts legs to his voice. He talks and he does what he says he wants to do, and he's done some great things. I remember the campaign to put the "In God We Trust" on the county courthouses, and we have it on ours right here, on our deputy's police car. We have "In God We Trust."
Right. And you know what? Our we've got a team of folks that are extremely active from our church in Republican politics here and nationally. And Jason has just become part of. He reminds me in Scripture. It speaks of the tribe of Issachar. I believe it's in 2 Chronicles, maybe chapter 8, where it speaks of the tribe of Issachar as a tribe that understood the times and knew what to do. And you just love people that are suit up and show up, boots on the ground. We're going to take the hill, influenced by God's direction in our life, people, and he's very much that way. Now, before we get into that interview, just a couple of quick things. Jim, the quickest way to break a North Carolinian's heart, I'm told?
The quickest way to break a North Carolinian's heart. How is that?
Well, you know what? I'm told it's telling them we don't have sweet tea, but there's sugar on the table.
Yes, that'll do it. That'll do it.
Now, I'm not quite. You're going to have to explain all of this to me. You know what? The other thing is, do you know in 1869 on this day, you know what was invented?
No.
A margarine. Margarine. Now, listen, I just got to know a margarine, and Todd tells me that that's one molecule off from plastic.
Right.
Listen, I just got a text from Jason Williams. He said he's tried a couple of times, and it's busy, so I'm going to get off.
All right, Butch. We appreciate you being available to us briefly, and we'll look forward to the interview with Shannon.
All right, he's there.
All right, we will wait Jason's phone call here in just a few moments. He's been trying to reach in, and we had that line tied up. So we are going to do that right now. Yeah, we expected his call anytime. You heard Butch say how active he is And it's important to know that he indeed does those kind of things. He talks about how important it is for North Carolina, how important it is for America, and he goes and does it, makes it happen. I remember those campaigns he did as a county commissioner there in North Carolina, and making the In God We Trust very viable. And Jason is going to be my guest. He's with me. Matter of fact, we got Jason Williams on the phone with me right now. Jason, good morning. Welcome to My Great America with Jim and Butch.
Hey, good morning, guys. How are you?
Doing great. Just hung up with Butch. He's up in Virginia, but I'm glad to have you on the show. And I know we talk about My Great America, but North Carolina is a great state because of people like you that's been in the fight for a long time and doing a lot of things to make North Carolina great. And when North Carolina is great, that spills out and makes other states great as well. So thank you for what you're doing, Jason.
Well, amen to that. And I think you hit the nail on the head. North Carolina, I still believe this is the greatest state in the country, and I love being a North Carolinian. And you're right. I think it's our people here in North Carolina that make it so great, and God's surely been good to us. So that's good. I hate we'll miss Butch. Hope he's enjoying his time up in Virginia, but sorry to miss him. But I've heard I've got the better option of the two.
Well, I don't know. Remains to be seen. But you've led so many battles, and I appreciate that. But let me ask you a few questions about North Carolina Faith and Freedom Coalition in North Carolina. Tell us a little bit, for our audience's purposes, about Faith and Freedom Coalition, its vital work in North Carolina, and your involvement as an executive director.
Yeah, well, so good question. I'll tell you a little bit about, I guess, me in general and how I kind of came about with the organization. I'm a lifelong resident of Gaston County, and so came up there through the school system. And when I graduated, my sister and I had started and owned a local insurance agency there in Gaston County, and did that for probably about 15 years. And God had impressed upon me just this desire to be involved in the political arena, and really just the need to have more Christian voices that are in that political arena, and just being involved and speaking out. And I was burdened just to have Christians kind of take back that microphone. It seemed like we had lost our voice in many ways. And so I got that burden to get involved. So I was 29 years old and decided to run for county commissioner here in Gaston County, and I did, and fortunately was elected. As a matter of fact, elected on my 30th birthday here in Gaston County. And so did that and truly loved it. We were really able to make a difference at a local level. I think that's very important. I think local politics normally gets overlooked by a lot of folks because we always hear about everything happening at a national level and even at a state level. But truly, I do believe the old adage that all politics is local. And so,
indeed,
having done that, and in 2014, I met a man named Mark Harris. Mark, at the time, was running for U.S. Senate, and he had come through Gaston County and was doing a campaign stop, and just met with him, and we just really hit it off. I appreciated his burden for our country. He was a pastor there in Charlotte, and we just got along and had a lot of a kindred spirit and what our burden was and what we wanted to see done. And so anyway, we stayed in touch. Mark ultimately lost that primary to now Senator Tom Tillis, and so later on, Mark decided to run for Congress, and when he ran for Congress, he had asked me to help him in that race, and so I did. Ended up not running for re-election for the county commissioner spot. Ended up helping Mark, and barely lost that race in 2016. I think it was like 134 votes, and then he decided to do it again in 2018, and so coming out of that race in 2018. After he had beaten Dan McCready, we, we're kind of figuring out, okay, what do we do now? And I received a call from Tim Head, who's the National Executive Director at the National Faith and Freedom Coalition, And he just said, look, we see really the role that North Carolina is going to play, not just there in the state, but really across the country, and how we'll be a battleground state for the foreseeable future. And they wanted to make sure that they, had invested in the state and they were involved and engaged. So I went down to Atlanta, where the office is, and met with he and Ralph Reed, and we talked at length about kind of what they planned for North Carolina, what they thought about the state, and just really fell in love with their vision and their passion. And so thus, in March of 2019, we started the North Carolina Faith and Freedom Coalition.
Being from Gaston County, I'm sure you know my friend Congressman Patrick McHenry.
Yeah, Patrick, he's a Gaston County guy, so he's one of us. He is one of us. He recently got drawn out of Gaston County whenever they redrew the maps, and all the mess that it's one of those things where they say if the left can't win at the ballot box, they'll win at the courthouse. And so I think that's one of the things we saw there. So they redrew the lines, and unfortunately, we lost one of our own in Patrick, who ends up representing the more northern part of the state.
Pulled him out of Rutherford County as well, and we miss him over here. But we've got a couple of good ones. Let me ask you a couple more questions about what you're doing in terms of the upcoming 2022 midterm elections, and what's at stake there, and what role will your organization be playing in making sure America stays on course in the face of so many alarming developments that are taking place?
Yeah, well, that's the question, right? I mean, that's really what we're all faced with is as we take a look around and see what's going on. I think it's, Jim, it's almost obvious kind of what's at stake. I feel like our country's at stake, and I don't want to, sensationalize that or make it seem any more than what it is. But man, when you look around and see what's going on, I mean, we're not having simple policy differences anymore at the political level. We're having conversations that fundamentally change our country. I mean, we have people that are elected in Congress that are openly promoting socialism. This new thing with the new critical race theory they're trying to teach in our schools that just fundamentally changes what we've learned about the history of our country, where we came from, who we are. And so you see that, and then, even from some of the social issues that people like you and I hold very dear. I think about the issue of marriage and the sanctity of marriage. And, if you look back with, I think it was Barack Obama back in 2012 when he was running for re-election, Barack Obama went on national TV and he said that I believe that marriage is sacred and should be preserved to be between a man and a woman. This is Barack Obama who said this in 2012.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And if you think about it now, we're not even having those same conversations. Now we're so far past that we're having these arguments and debates over, whether or not men should use women's bathrooms based on how they feel that day.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're so far past a lot of the stuff that the left initially brought up. And then you think about the issue of abortion and life. I remember growing up, and I'm 38 years old, and I remember growing up hearing all these debates, and I remember John Kerry back in 2004 debating George W. Bush, and he talked about abortion, and he said that I don't like abortion. He said, but I do believe that abortion should be safe, legal, and that third word that they all used was rare. Safe, legal, and rare. Those are the three things the left used to describe abortion. And so when's the last time you heard anybody say that an abortion should be safe, legal, and rare? Well, they're not even saying that anymore. As a matter of fact, we heard just last year on a radio talk show host in Virginia, the Governor Northam up in Virginia said, who's a doctor, he said he supports legislation that would allow a baby who survives a botched abortion and is born and is a living, breathing human being, for that baby, for the mom and the doctor to kind of go over here to the side and keep the baby comfortable while they decide what to do with that baby. And so that's so far removed from us saying, or the left saying, that abortion should be safe, legal, and rare. Now they're saying things like, okay, even after a baby is born, how long after that do we still have the right to kill that baby? So we see things like that, and we see how far we're coming. And so it's going to take people like us to stand up and stop that. And I do think we're seeing some progress. So as we look into 2022, I think we kind of have to pause and look back into, well, what happened in 2020. And I think 2020 was a good year here in North Carolina. You know, if you look around the state, and clearly we all look at the presidential race, and we're all just very disheartened by that. But when we look locally, we set out, the Faith and Freedom Coalition, we set out to do a pretty massive voter education initiative. We started off, we were going to knock on about 250,000 doors. We were going to put our voter guides in about 1,000 churches. We were going to do the phone bankings and, all this other stuff, the digital ads, to get that information in the hands of the voters. Well, as the summer turned to fall, all this polling came in that was showing, the North Carolina House is going to have a majority of liberals, and we were going to lose the Senate. Council of State would lose the lieutenant governor's race. Like all these things started flowing in, the U.S. Senate race, and there were some congressional races. And as we looked at this, we thought, there's no way we can sit by and allow this blue wave to come through North Carolina. So we doubled down on our efforts in North Carolina. So we ended up increasing our goal. And last year, we went from knocking on 250,000 doors, so we actually increased it to 350,000 doors across the state. We did voter guides in roughly around 2,200 churches. We did over a million peer-to-peer text and digital ads, and over 1 million mail pieces. So we wanted to get good information and good get out the vote material to people of faith, people that share our values and will support the right candidates. And if you look back in retrospect, you've got conservatives in the state house, and even people like Paul Newby who look back and talk about the good work of the Faith and Freedom Coalition by educating people on what was at stake in 2020. And we're going to do that all again next year in 2022. And next year we're going to start at a minimum of knocking on around 450,000 doors.
That's a major task. Let me ask you this: based on the leadership we have right now in Washington and in North Carolina, in terms of the president and his team and the governor, are you finding your message more readily accepted because folks are tired of what they're saying, or is it more difficult to get your message out?
Man, that's a great question. Because when you think about it, coming off the election in 2020, conservatives and certainly us evangelicals, we have this tendency of doing one of two things. Whenever we win elections, we quit, and whenever we lose elections, we quit. And so it seems like it doesn't matter what happens on election day, we either sit back and say, "Oh wow, we lost," and kind of sulk in that, or if we win, we just kind of enjoy and celebrate the wins and move on. So I didn't really know how people would respond following the November elections, and I think there was a time of people that were surprised. When you saw on TV the rallies that President Trump had, and and then you saw Joe Biden, who would have half a dozen people show up whenever he went somewhere. When you saw the reports of all the good things that were happening economically, and how all the good stuff that the president and his team were doing with COVID, I think many of us expected that the president would win. And so when you see that, there is kind of that gut punch of, wow, this was a big thing. However, I think in recent months, we have seen people of faith, conservative Christians, become more energized quickly than I've seen even in previous election cycles. I'll give you an example. We do our Road to Majority conference every June, and we just had it down in Orlando. And this past year, just a couple of weeks ago, we had a record attendance at that Road to Majority Conference. Butch was down there, and I'm sure he could tell you how the great atmosphere it was. But we had nearly 2,500 people registered for the conference. We had people there from all over the country. And one of the amazing things that I saw was the number of minorities that attended this conference. Matter of fact, Dean Nelson, who works with the Douglas Leadership Institute, made the statement that conference in Orlando was by far the most diverse conference he has ever been a part of. You know, we had nearly 500, I believe, Hispanics at the conference, another 500 or so black people at the conference. We had an Asian delegation there. So we're seeing this message resonate with people that the media and the left doesn't normally attribute to conservatives. And so I think we're seeing this conservative message resonate. I think people get it. And I think maybe it took some of what you're seeing Biden and his team do. It took some of that for them to really catch on and believe, wow, this stuff's really going to happen.
I think you're right. We're limited on a long time, but I did want to ask you this. What might local people do, local churches? How can they get involved if they have a passion for your vision in this organization?
Well, I'm grateful for the time you've given us to share kind of what we're doing. But look, I believe everything starts with the church, and I think that's the way God intended it, and it's the way God ordained it. And I think we're seeing pastors across the state who are seeing the urgency of what's at stake, and it took many of them. It took the governor closing down churches for a time for them to realize, wow, we truly are under attack. So, you know, what I would say to pastors and churches and other faith leaders, first, go to our website, ncfaithandfreedom.com, check it out, sign up, send us a message, tell us, hey, you want to get involved and you want to connect. And, what we try to do is put together a gathering of people in their area, and we come out and kind of talk to you about what's going on, what are we doing, how you can be involved in helping us distribute and educate your congregation with our voter guides and other information. And of course, one of the most important things you can do is pray. Pray for our country, pray for our state, pray for your county, pray for your county leaders, city leaders, school boards. That's one of the most important things people can do. And then, other things like hosting a voter registration drive, we can go through all that and other ways they can stay engaged. But reach out, get in touch with me or somebody from our team, and we would love to connect with you and show you how you can be a part of the coalition of right now about 2,200 churches across North Carolina that have said, hey, enough's enough. We're getting off the sidelines, and we want to be involved in what's going on.
I like that. Enough is enough. It's time to get involved in the battle. Those voter guides are very effective, and I really appreciate the fact you folks do that. And I know it costs a lot of money to do that, and folks can really jump in and help by going to your website and finding some way to do that. It's very effective that people can know that there's an organization like yours, and individuals don't have to fight this fight alone. They can get in the battle with an organization that has proven results like the Faith and Freedom Coalition. And I appreciate your spending some time with us to give us that insight in doing that. And I hope this won't be the last time we get to visit.
Well, I hope not, and thank you so much for the invitation. And give Butch my best and appreciate your work, my brother.
Thank you. You appreciate your work to keep up the good fight.
Take care, my friend.
That's Jason Williams, the Executive Director for the North Carolina Faith and Freedom Coalition, an active coalition in North Carolina. You can be a part of that. Go to their website, Faith and Freedom Coalition, and you'll find North Carolina's wing there. Just tap on that and find out more about what they're doing. I'm very familiar with their organization and support it, and I hope you will too. A lot of insight into what's happening to give you ammunition. Maybe that's not the right word, but give you some fodder there to help you in the fight. Faith and Freedom Coalition with Jason Williams today. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back again on Tuesday of next week.
Thank you for joining us for My Great America with Jim and Butch. Join us each Tuesday and Thursday morning at 9:05 for this enlightening program on 100.9 FM and 590 AM. It's My Great America with Jim and Butch.
Your Thursday afternoon forecast involves a partly cloudy sky. We'll see some showers and thunderstorms popping up this afternoon and early evening. Highs today will be in the upper 80s and low 90s, though feeling much hotter through the afternoon. Dry Friday morning, but then Friday afternoon we'll see another chance for a stray shower and storm popping up. Highs Friday also in the upper 80s and low 90s. Better rain coverage in the forecast Saturday and especially on Sunday. I'm meteorologist Zach Malak in the Weather Center.
Now, the Business Edge Minute. Here's Mitch Graff.
When kids are little, you can tell them just about anything and they will believe you, regardless of how far-fetched the concept is. Sasquatch lives in the forest behind your house. Eating your carrots makes you see through walls. Your parents are the smartest people in the world. Until they turn 12, when they discover that they are the smartest people in the world and know everything, and you know nothing. Perceptions are powerful things indeed and are extremely vital when it comes to what kind of customer you want to attract. Not every customer is meant to be your customer. Sometimes you're better off going fishing than to take on a new customer who doesn't help you attain your goals and objectives. In order to truly focus, you must do less. You can practice hand grenade marketing, throw a bunch of stuff out there and hope it hits the target, or you can use laser beam marketing and hit only the customers you want. At BusinessEdgeMinute.com, I'm Mitch Graff.
You've heard it said before that the best lessons learned are from the School of Hard Knocks. Well, now you can give the gift of a PhD from this prestigious university. This authentic diploma is printed on the same high-quality paper that the top schools in the world use for their diplomas and will become the center of conversation for sure. Visit schoolofhardknocks.net. That's schoolofhardknocks.net, and you'll receive a special discount of 20% at checkout when you enter the code EDGE. Get one for that person in your life who seems to have everything, or heck, get one for yourself. You've earned it.
Imagine an object of striking beauty with a breathtaking design that grabs your attention and holds you in suspense. It draws you in with an innovative boost of dreams and $100,000 cash power. New Corvette in cash from the North Carolina Education Lottery with a top prize of a 2021 Corvette Stingray and $100,000 cash. The ride of your dreams is waiting. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 4.25. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Live from beautiful downtown Whiteside Road in the Blue Room of WCAB, your connection to the world of entertainment and information is on the air. WCAB, what a way to spend a day.
You saw me crying in the chapel. The tears I shed were tears of joy. I know the meaning of contentment. I am happy with the Lord. Just a plain and simple chapel where all good people go to pray. I prayed the Lord that I'll grow stronger as I live from day to day. I searched and I searched, but I couldn't find no way on earth to find peace of mind. Now I'm happy in the chapel where Yes, we gather in the chapel just to sing and praise the Lord. You'll search and you'll search, but you'll never find no way on earth to find peace of mind. Take your troubles to the chapel. Get down on your knees and pray. Then your burdens will be lighter, and you'll surely find a way.
I dig rock and roll music and I love to get the chance to play and sing it. I figure it's about the happiest sound going down today. The message may not move me or mean a great deal to me, but hey, it feels so groovy to say. I dig the mamas and the papas at the Trip Sunset Strip in L.A. And they got a good thing going when the words don't get in the way. And when they're really wailing, Michelle and Cass are sailing. Hey, they really nail me to the wall. Yeah. Donovan, Kendall, a dream like tripped that way. His crystal images, hey, tell you about the brighter day. And when the Beatles tell you, they've got a word love to sell you, and they mean exactly what they say. I dig rock and roll music. I could really get it on in that scene. I think I could say something if you know what I mean. But if I really say it, the radio won't play it unless I lay it between the lines. Ba, 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 ba,
calls. You'll get
just like a dream. Nobody knows where you're going. Nobody cares where you've been. 'Cause you belong to the city. You belong to the night. Living in a river of darkness beneath the neon light. You were born in the city. Concrete under your feet. It's in your bones. It's in your blood. You're a man of the street. When you said goodbye, you were on the run, trying to get away from the things you've done. Now you're back again, and you're feeling strange. So much has happened, but nothing has changed. You still don't know where you're going. You're still just a face in the crowd. You belong to the city. You belong to the night. Living in a river of darkness beneath the neon light. You were born in the city. Concrete under your feet. It's in your blood. It's in your moves. For a man of the street, you can feel it. You can taste it. You can see it. You can face it. You can hear it. Hey, you're getting near it. Hey, you wanna make it. 'Cause you can take it. You belong to the city. You belong to the night. You belong to the city. You belong to the night. You belong.
Robbins Painting Carpet has become the friend to folks who do their own work around the house and friends of the professional. Robbins Painting Carpet is the headquarters for Benjamin Moore Premium Quality Paint. It goes on easily and beautifully the first time, every time. Save yourself from time. Do it right the first time with Benjamin Moore. Robbins will provide expert help and advice to make every project a success. Call on Jim and his team for refinishing floors too. Robbins Painting Carpet across from Quality Inn in Forest City.
Nobody gets a better deal than the customers at Sisk Family Ford. They have a proven record of the best deals. Sisk Family Ford, Rutherford County's only locally owned new car dealer, has recently been recognized as the #1 Ford dealer in customer satisfaction in the Southeast. That speaks well of their commitment to serve their customers well. Come take advantage of the springtime sales event and get the automobile you've been wanting. Look for all the new design 2021 F-150 at Rutherford County's only locally owned new car dealership. That's Sisk Family Ford, Oak Street, Forest City.
Stay in touch with your tax dollars. Listen to the Commish Report and the School Board Report each month live here on WCAB. The reports are heard the following morning after the meetings. WCAB, keeping you informed as well as entertained.
Round like a circle in a spiral, like a wheel within a wheel, never ending or beginning on an ever spinning reel, like a snowball down a mountain or a carnival balloon, like a carousel that's turning, running rings around the moon, like a clock whose hands are sweeping past the minutes of its face, and the world is like an apple whirling silently in space, like the circles that you find in the windmills of your mind. Like a tunnel that you follow to a tunnel of its own, down a hollow to a cavern where the sun has never shone, like a door that keeps revolving in a half-forgotten dream, or the ripples from a pebble someone tosses in a stream, like a clock whose hands are sweeping past the minutes of its face, and the world is like an apple whirling silently in space, like the circles that you find in the windmills of your mind. Keys that jingle in your pocket, words that jangle in your head. Why did summer go so quickly? Was it something that you said? Lovers walk along the shore and leave their footprints in the sand. Is the sound of distant drumming just the fingers of your hand? Pictures hanging in a hallway and a fragment of a song, half remembered names and faces, but to whom do they belong? When you knew that it was over, you were suddenly aware that the autumn leaves were turning to the color of his hair, like a circle in a spiral, like a wheel within a wheel, never ending or beginning on an ever spinning reel, as the images unwind, like the circles that you find in the windmills of your mind.
combing my hair now and wondering what dress to wear now. I say a little prayer for you. Forever, forever, you'll stay in my heart, and I will love you forever and ever. We never will part. Oh, I'll love you together, together. That's how it must be to live without you. Would only mean heartbreak for me. I run for the bus, dear. Oh, while riding, I think of us, dear. I say a little prayer for you. At work, I just take time, and all through my coffee break time, I say a little prayer for you. Forever, forever, you'll stay in my heart, and I will love you forever and ever. We never will part. Oh, I'll love you together, together. That's how it must be to live without you. Would only mean heartbreak for me. I say a little prayer for you. Forever, forever, you'll stay in my heart, and I will love you forever and ever. We never will part. Oh, I'll love you together, together. That's how it must be to live without you. Would only mean heartbreak for me. My darling, believe me, for me there is no one but you. Please love me too. I'm in love with you. Answer my prayer. Say you love me too. Why don't you answer my prayer? You know every day I say a little prayer. I say a little prayer.
Have you seen that girl in the corner? I'd like to take her out of her chains. 'Cause if I had my way with you, baby, I wouldn't change
on board a westbound 747. Didn't think before deciding what to do. Oh, that talk of opportunities, TV breaks and movies rang true, sure and true. Seems it never rains in Southern California. Seems I've often heard that kind of talk before. It never rains in California, but girl, don't they warn ya? It pours, man, it pours. Out of work, I'm out of my head. Out of self-respect, I'm out of breath. I'm underloved, I'm underfed. I wanna go home. It never rains in California, but girl, don't they warn ya? It pours, man, it pours. Will you tell the folks back home I nearly made it? Had offers but don't know which one to take. Please don't tell them how you found me. Don't tell them how you found me. Give me a break. Give me a break. Seems it never rains in Southern California. Seems I've often heard that kind of talk before. It never rains in California, but girl, don't they warn ya? It pours, man, it pours.
WCAB.
From ABC News, I'm Brian Clark. President Biden this morning is expected to discuss the first payments that are being made to families as part of the expanded child tax credit. ABC's Rebecca Jarvis has details.
Millions of families should be getting this money via direct deposit very shortly, and each family is eligible for up to $250 per child, $300 per child under 6 years old. The average payment to families this round will be $423.
Jobless claims are down once again last week. 360,000 claims reported, the lowest since last March at the start of the pandemic. Health officials, though, are concerned about the state of the pandemic as the Delta variant helps to drive an increase in case numbers in many areas of the country. More from ABC's Whit Johnson.
The rapid rise of the Delta variant now putting an urgent focus on children, those under 12 still not eligible for a vaccine. 7 children in Mississippi are being treated in ICUs, including one younger than a year old, 2 of the children on ventilators. Health experts say they are seeing more severe symptoms in children who test positive for the Delta variant.
The Department of Justice has slammed the FBI for its delay in addressing allegations against former USA Gymnastics doctor Larry Nassar, eventually convicted of sexually assaulting hundreds. ABC's Pierre Thomas has more.
According to the report, the FBI first heard the allegations against Nassar in July 2015, but for months, agents did not flag authorities who could have taken action. That delay leading to questions about whether as many as 70 athletes were assaulted as the FBI fumbled their investigation into Nassar.
Johnson & Johnson's recalling several sunscreens manufactured under the Aveeno and Neutrogena labels because low levels of benzene, which can cause cancer, were found in some samples. And almost 70 wildfires are burning in a dozen states. One in southern Oregon's burned an area larger than New York City. You're listening to ABC News.
The Wall Street Journal reported that U.S. inflation is the highest in 13 years as prices just surged 5% in May alone. Higher prices for food, fuel, housing. Inflation isn't just coming, it's here. This is Dinesh D'Souza for Birch Gold Group. If you haven't diversified into precious metals, you're leaving your savings exposed. Birch Gold Group is who I trust to help you protect your IRA or 401k with gold and silver. Through a little-known tax loophole, you can convert your retirement savings tied to the stock market into an IRA backed by precious metals. It's your hedge against inflation. You can even buy physical gold delivered to your door. With thousands of satisfied customers, an A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau, and countless 5-star reviews, Birch Gold can help you protect your savings against inflation. Get a free information kit by texting the word PROTECT to 989898. Again, text PROTECT to 989898 to get your free information kit today.
Factories activity is slowing down. The Federal Reserve says U.S. manufacturing production dipped by 0.1%, hampered in part by a shortage of computer chips. The Biden administration is putting a new focus on cybercrime. The State Department's offering a $10 million reward for information on foreign cyber attacks on American infrastructure. The administration's also launched a website, stopransomware.gov, with tools and information on cyber attacks. As Democratic state lawmakers in Texas left the Lone Star State in an effort to halt a vote on new voting rules, ABC's Dennis Foley has more on who's picking up their travel bill.
Let me just start by saying who's not paying for it. Taxpayers aren't paying for it.
San Antonio State Representative Trey Martinez-Fisher told ABC affiliate KTSA the money for the trip is coming from two sources.
The aircraft was chartered by the House Democratic Caucus, which is the political entity for House Democrats.
And for the hotel rooms in D.C.?
I booked the very first night on my campaign credit card, and so I paid for 70 hotel rooms the very first night.
Other state lawmakers then added their own campaign credit cards to help share the cost.
Make no mistake, there's not a special interest group footing the bill.
The Texas Democrats could stay in Washington for weeks as they hold out during the state's current special session. Dennis Foley, ABC News, San Antonio.
Drivers of Chevy Bolt electric cars being told to park them outside amid worries the batteries could catch fire. Two went up in flames recently. This is ABC News.
Your nose is the body's air filter, the first line of defense against airborne allergens, bacteria, and viruses. You wash your hands to protect your health. Now you can clean your nose with Navage. Online at Navage.com. Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
Can I pop a beer in here? Your cousin from Boston. Sam Adams Boston Lager is my go-to beer. Not too heavy, not too light. Oh boy. Oh no. Is that on the computer? Sam Adams Boston Lager. The Boston Beer Company, Boston, Massachusetts. Drink responsibly.
Brian Clark, ABC News.
Your Thursday afternoon forecast involves a partly cloudy sky. We'll see some showers and thunderstorms popping up this afternoon and early evening. Highs today will be in the upper 80s and low 90s, though feeling much hotter through the afternoon. Dry Friday morning, but then Friday afternoon we'll see another chance for a stray shower and storm popping up. Highs Friday also in the upper 80s and low 90s. Better rain coverage in the forecast Saturday and especially on Sunday. I'm meteorologist Zach Malak in the Weather Center.
WCAB, 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 Ask me for the world, it doesn't seem much. Ask me by the moon, dear, and I'll reach out to touch anything for you, dear, only. But please don't ask me to be lonely. Ask me for the stars, dear, and I'll fulfill your demand. Ask me for the diamonds, I'll put them on your hand. Anything for you, dear, only. But please don't ask me to be lonely. I've searched this world, this whole wide world, looking for a girl such as you. I gave up my search when I looked into ask me for the stars, dear, and I'll fulfill your demand. Ask me for the diamonds, I'll put them on your hand. Anything for you, dear, only. But please don't ask me to be lonely. Don't ask me to be lonely. was apricot. You had one eye in the mirror as you watched yourself go out, and all the girls dreamed that they'd be your partner. They'd be your partner, and you're so vain. You probably think this song is about you. You're so vain. I'll bet you think this song is about you. Don't you? Don't you? Oh, you had me several years ago when I was still quite naive. When you said that we made such a pretty pair and that you would never leave, but you gave away the things you loved, and one of them was me. I had some dreams, they were clouds in my coffee, clouds in my coffee, and you're so vain. You probably think this song is about you. You're so vain. I'll bet you think this song is about you. Don't you? Don't you? Don't you? I had some dreams, they were clouds in my coffee, clouds in my coffee, and you're so vain. You probably think this song is about you. You're so vain. I'll bet you think this song is about you. Don't you? Don't you? When I hear you went up to Saratoga and your horse naturally won, then you flew your Learjet up to Nova Scotia to see the total eclipse of the sun. When you're where you should be all the time, and when you're not, you're with some underworld spy or the wife of a close friend, wife of a close friend, and you're so vain. You probably think this song is about you. You're so vain. I'll bet you think this song is about you. Don't you? Don't you? Don't you? WCAB.
Crazy little mama come knocking, brother, knocking at my front door. Crazy little mama come knocking, knocking at my front door. Crazy little mama come knocking, just like she did before. I woke up this morning with a feeling of despair, looking for my baby and she wasn't there. Heard someone knocking, much to my surprise. There stood my baby looking in my eyes. Crazy little mama come knocking